everybody, we're live. Sorry for your eardrums. We're live. I am in a doesn't matter corner because I'm just a player today, but I will do a brief announcement because we're gonna be playing Andrew Bowman's Out of Orbit ZineQuest TTRPG. Yeah!
That was very high pitched.
I am so excited. Sorry, I'm very excited.
Matt, nobody puts you in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner. Except for me, I put me in the corner because I did the layout. But look at just look how we're starting off. Look at this amazing overlay by the indefatigable Andrew, the unstoppable, the incorrigible.
Ooh, don't put that on
I don't know.
Oh, it looks so
High
good.
pressure.
Right?
With the layers. What the fuck? That's so cool.
This is what you have to look forward to should you go over to Kickstarter right now and save the campaign, go and back Out of Orbit so that you can go save it so that as soon as it goes live next month, you can back it. But in the meantime, today we got spawners. They're right there.
Sea Galley.
3 days.
3 days. They're right over here. They include crab legs and also super sick t-shirts that match our amazing.
What in the hell is?
Something's happening.
Hold on.
Sorry, chat. We dropped the link for Kickstarter, and apparently, Egyptian Joe IRL wanted to hit up this fine shorty and talk about Blue Chews. We'll mod that guy right out of here in just 2 seconds.
I got it.
He's
Don't
fine.
worry.
I know him.
You know him. That's your friend.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We didn't.
My finger was hovering over the ban button, so it's
To be fair,
So out here almost getting
What happening?
You know what?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we did spawners. This is the boners. There you go.
Yeah.
Got some Blue Chew, and now on to Discord and Patreon, which we have. We have a Discord that you can join us and talk about all things gaming, including Out of Orbit.
Oh my God, Jake! Hi, Jake.
And we also have a Patreon that you can join. You sandbagging son of a bitch. We also have a Patreon that you can join to vote on all of our stuff that is coming up. You can suggest magic items that might be available in the Tales of Tales campaign coming up. You might be able to vote on the first system that is used in Tales of Misadventure once Raz gets that back up and started. And you also get to join our book club, but also, and there's gonna be some new exciting stuff starting next month. I've already scared Andrew away with talk of Blue Chew and spawners.
Oh my gosh. No, my monitor just ran like a color calibration thing, and it was just like a light show for a minute there. I couldn't see anything except for blue, green, red. All right, we're good now.
You've got an orc computer hailing back to our Warhammer chat and tech. Okay. With that,
Cables are connected properly. They're not just bouncing.
Thank you, Matt.
that's literally impossible to explain that the background of that story was literally a cable, but there's no way anyone thinks that because of our constant use of bouncing for other purposes.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna fade into the background now, and I'm gonna leave you in the very capable hands of our guest GM Andrew.
Hello. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I am so excited to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Everybody in chat, like Matt said, you can check out the project right now. It is going live in 3 days, so that is the first of the month. It's part of Zine Month. Zine Month is an incredible thing. If you are not aware of it, it is a time of the year, the best time of the year, where tons and tons of creators put out incredible projects across many different platforms. Lots of Kickstarter, backer kit, itch funding. There's a whole bunch of options. But basically, people create nice little TTRPG products and they put it out into the world and see if people want to buy it. This is my second one. I did one last year. It was called Battle School. It went quite well. I had a lot of fun. People liked it, and I wanted to do more of the rules. And I also have a huge love for a certain show called Lost. That kind of led me down a rabbit trail of looking into mechanics and what I could do with it. And now we have Out of Orbit, which is a sci-fi troop survival game. It pulls from games such as Band of Blades, so like Fortune, Dark in general. It pulls from Microscope, which is a little bit out of left field if you're familiar with that game. And it uses some of Entwine, which is the system underneath Battle School, my first game. So What's that all about? I truly believe, and this is the ethos of Entwine, I truly believe that your actions do not exist in a void. They affect the people around you. So the rules in this game directly tie into that. You will not be doing anything without it affecting the other people that you're with. In our game, we are going to be playing as survivors on a planet out in the drift. This is not a planet that is orbiting any known star. It should, for all intents and purposes, be a dead planet, but it's not. So we are going to figure out what happens with these people, and we are both we as the players and me, the GM, are both the audience and the directors, essentially, of a TV show. So I will often be speaking in terms of the camera. You may or may not be familiar with that kind of GMing, but basically we will be talking about what we as the audience see, and we are invited to participate and manipulate that as such. This is also kind of a GM full game, so it's not GM-less, and it does still have a person facilitating, that would be me, but I really am much more operating the, I'm like 40% GMing compared to like your traditional RPG experience, and otherwise generally going to be asking y'all questions and having you roll on tables and participate in telling the story with me, because that's far more interesting to me. With that, you can check out the Kickstarter right now. I think that we've got a link somewhere, and we're gonna jump into our game. Matt, we don't have the video because I didn't send it to you.
Well, yeah, we found the one thing we forgot. We found it.
Darn
That's
it. Okay. I got a trailer. We'll do it next week. But
Do
that's
it
the other
next
thing.
week.
We're going to be doing this for 2 more weeks. So if you're here on episode 1 of this, we are going to be doing character creation live on stream. There is not a whole lot of preparation. We do that as a part of the game. So we're going to jump in right now to the beginning of Out of Orbit. Welcome to Frontier Space. Humanity has long moved on from Earth and has found themselves in a new system. Through the corporate powers that be, they terraformed and spread out across countless worlds, a ripe system to tame and exploit for profit. A few hundred years into this occupation, this new frontier is home to vast megacities as well as desolate and lonely outposts. Today we find ourselves aboard a transit vessel, deep in rift space, the world between that ships tear through to do faster than light travel. The flight has been calm for the most part. The hum of the engines ring through the hull as the pilot does their best to not drift off. Only the captain and a few others are conscious as the ship flies through rift space. She's an old bird, a transit ship, originally a tanker that flew under a different banner, but now is headed from the world, the human world of Treya, or at least that's where we were heading from, and off to another planet, somewhere in frontier space. We'll kind of decide where we're going and why in a minute. All of these survivors that we are going to be, watching how they get by, they are all in different, they're whether they're in pods, sleep bays, stuff like that. This isn't necessarily like a cryo sleep situation, but people are able to sleep in a sleeping pod and get up and go around to stretch their legs and whatnot. The thing about rift space and the way that FTL happens inside of frontier space is it's not instantaneous. You are essentially traveling through another dimension for that time, and then you pop back out the other side. It's called tearing because it quite literally rips a hole through the fabric of space-time to bypass and, take a shortcut. So at this moment, we are traveling through rift space, and lights begin to flash. Something is wrong, and the ship drops out of rift space. This is not a dropping out of light speed kind of thing. This is far more violent. This is as if tumbling through sheets of paper as they rip apart around the hull of the ship, reality bending around it and metal twisting. The hull lights flash, the lights flash, the hull lurches, metal creaks, tears, atmosphere begins venting, and the fabric of space tears as the ship is forced off its path and begins plummeting into the orbit of a strange, pale planet out in the drift. You hear screaming in the distance. Somebody's hurt. The engines of the ship are deafening as they still roar. Still ignited, but unmoving as the ship lies burning on the ground of this planet. Let's see how everyone is doing.
Ooh.
As we begin to look over this crash site on the planet, think aerial drone footage right now, we see the smoke billowing out, and we're greeted with the biome surrounding us initially. And so I'm going to throw a question to the group. What sort of biome are we first crash landing at? I'll start with Colin. What kind of biome? Are we in a forest? Is it desert? Is it a swamp? What does the initial surrounding region look like?
Let's go sort of like silica desert. So not just like not like normal sand, but like pure white silica desert.
Ooh. All right. So as you look out over this rolling desert, you see the semblance of like some sort of dark change of biome a few miles out. You can see there's maybe something more lush in the distance. You can mainly see that this is a fractured landscape of not the most normal terraforming means. Many of the worlds in frontier space were corporately curated. They were basically, you know, like they were ordered to be a certain way, and these massive terraforming units were dropped on these planets, and they made it how they wanted. Whatever's going on here didn't follow those rules whatsoever. This is far beyond that. So we look over this white silicate desert, and we can see the glassing that occurred as the impact around the crater that the ship now occupies. We also see, not terribly hard to actually make it out, there is more smoke coming from the distance, we'll say to the west. And there's another portion of the ship that has crashed elsewhere. So we now sit in the site where the crash has occurred. The main living quarters has been completely breached and spilled out. You see pods all throughout the site. And we're going to zoom in on the eye of our first character. Matt, why don't you roll me your first character? And then while we're getting ready for that, grab a d20, Matt.
Yes.
Everybody's going to want to grab a d20. For the audience here, these characters are prepared right in this moment. They are not per se owned by any one of us. They are owned by all of us because we are telling the story together. On subsequent missions and episodes, you might see a character that Matt creates being played by Conlon. So that kind of stuff will move around, and we will meet and discover who these characters are together. So Matt, first up, this is somewhat on a knockout system. So what I'm going to do on our, there's a roll table in the character sheet for rolling a survivor. I will just, I will color one of these once we've rolled it, so we're not getting a ton of duplicates. That's not to say there are only 20 possible things. It's to say that we want diversity in the initial cast.
Yeah. I'm popping up I'm popping up a separate tab so I can write those down in the little Survivor 1 tab. And if you're watching this on the YouTubes and you're like, man, they're what are they giggling about? You got to be here in chat, y'all. The chat is truly incredible today. And our first TTRPG roll, lucky number 13.
All right, you are rolling up an ex-military individual.
Excellent.
So they likely have some relationship with these corporate mega militaries. They are kind of used as the fist of what is known as the UIC. So like the corporate conglomerate that they all use, to kind of sway the politics of frontier space. There's a massive one known as Gorgon, which is actually, if you've played Battle School, that is, you
It's the
might have gone to
crossover?
Battle School.
Yeah.
So yeah, you may have gone to Battle School.
We stand a crossover
so
here.
basically, yeah, it's like BlackRock pretty much. So now go ahead. You're gonna roll up a hobby
Yes.
for this character. You'll also be rolling for like a character flaw, and finally the current injury that you have just sustained.
Cool.
For reference, everybody, when you're looking at logging these details, the first thing you're going to log, that there's no injury tab. That's the first event that has occurred for your character. You can see
Gotcha.
that underneath there. I say
Yes.
crash and injury.
Cool. Dope. Also, rah, thin the orbit 500 is easily the best joke that's happened. And there's been a lot of good jokes in chat so far. Second D20 roll is a 16. We're going up in the world.
All right. Okay, so, wow,
hobby.
you're really into sewing. That's
into
actually
sewing.
super useful. Yeah.
I'm
You
trying.
make your own like tactical gear.
I'm like trying to like piece together what is this
Yeah.
person, and this is fun. Okay, now a flaw.
Oh wait, maybe it's a grandma. Like maybe it's
Oh, man.
ex-military,
Man,
like
really
badass
ex.
grandma.
Really
Yeah.
ex-military, like
Yeah.
retired. Oh man, I'll crochet you a Kevlar vest. Don't worry. Natural 20 with my little rainbow going on here. What do we got
Alright,
for
that's
flaw?
your
Overly
flaw?
competitive.
Ooh.
I will beat your ass at canasta, you little piece of shit.
You want to play some cribbage?
I'm the
and
first one to
finally-
stand up, broken hit my ass. Ship can't take me down. Finally, the injury. A 10. I've never rolled this well in my life. What the fuck is this? Oh no!
Missing fingers.
No, my sewing! This
Oh,
is the
man.
cruelest.
For fun.
Incredible.
Roll a d4.
Okay.
For how many
for
missing
how
fingers.
many? For yes.
It'll be a d4 plus 1.
D4
okay?
plus 1.
You just need two perfect.
I just
per
need
hand.
two. I just need. What is that? What is that movie that's she's? Oh, it's Scrubs. She's only got pointer and thumb pinky. Takes her a long time. I rolled a 3, so I
Oh,
have
man.
4 missing fingers. I'm gonna
You
roll.
can pick.
I'm
but
gonna
you
roll
have
gonna
to
say,
be able to
one hand or
describe
two
the
hands?
injury.
I'm gonna roll. So odds is right hand, left is evens is left hand. So I'll roll for these. Okay, 1 from each, and then 1 from each. So I'm missing 2 on each finger. Incredible.
You got
is
them
it-
jammed while you were knitting.
Yeah.
The knitting
I
needles
was
went
like,
straight
everything.
through.
Oh no! Yeah, as it was crashing, just knitting, and then just into there. Swings back and just rips through and
Awful.
pops 2 of them off.
So you're likely, like in this crash moment, as the camera is zooming in on this character, which could you go ahead and do a quick little physical description of this character and maybe give him a name?
Hold on. I'm imagining which one's ripped off, and I'm thinking that this is the current setup. We've got pinky, pointer, middle, and we've got pinky, ring, and thumb. That's what we got working here.
Man,
We got little T-Rex hands happening.
that's brutal.
Incredible. What do I put under event? Is that lost
that would
fingers?
be missing fingers.
Missing
yep.
fingers.
So this and any flashback, basically you kind of name the tag that would be associated, and then location is just to like
Yes.
flesh out when these things happened and where. Because we're also sharing these character sheets, right? So like when you're fleshing
Yes.
this out and somebody else is like coming back, they're like, wait, what happened to her? And
Yeah.
where? And what?
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. How
What
many
did
fingers?
What did I say it was? It's this thing going on? Yeah, this is what it's going on. So it's pointer and or ring missing, or pointer and middle on the left hand are missing. Incredible. I think, what do we want to do for name? Let's do Margaret.
Margaret. I like it.
Feels very classic old lady. I feel like I just did a joke that Colin's getting, and I don't know what it is. Or is it chat? Is chat being
It
weird?
was chat.
Chat's
It
being
was
weird.
chat.
But okay.
Yep. Yep.
I was waiting
Yep.
to see if somebody was going to make that joke.
Oh, shocker! Really shocker.
Really
I didn't
shocking in that,
expect
in that chat.
Robert, no.
Never could have seen it happening.
Yes.
Anything other than a name or just a description of like what she looks
Yeah,
like?
just like a brief description. Like we're getting a camera shot
Yes.
of her likely. Like you can describe what she's doing right now, in this moment in the crash.
I think she is like covered in sand and like doesn't really like just knows her hands hurt. And then as her hands like come up, it's just coated in that like dark silica. It's just
Well,
like,
yeah.
it's like she's wearing gloves almost,
Oh.
but it's just that like crunch of like moving it against like the metal of a piece of the ship as she's like trying to stand up. I think she's in sort of like semi-form fitting like spacesuit. It's not like the helmet and the stuff, but it's just like, you know, very, very low, no dangly bits, right? It's just form fitting to like keep in the cab. Hair would have been in a bun, is now very much like a messy bun, like just flyaways and frays everywhere. Silver gray, like very, very much like aged well into her grays. Plenty of wrinkles, but it's that sort of like distinguished wrinkles where it's like she's clearly taking care of her skin. She's been a fitness nut since day one, being, you know, ex-military and just kept the basic training going. I think like the only bit of like non-regulation thing going on here is like a little like braided necklace that there is actually like some bruising from where it like grabbed on and like hurt her neck a little bit, but has like a little charm on the end of it.
Interesting. So, and then as she's kind of dealing with her hands, she begins to stumble through the wreckage. She can see the whirring of the engine in the distance, like this massive kind of turbine like thing just going off. And there's people trying to get away from it, but there's clearly signs that individuals may have gotten too close to it. And as she's kind of walking through, like holding her hands, looking around, she thinks about knitting briefly. And she's like, shit. And she sees someone else in the distance. So the camera begins to zoom in, and we'll throw to Taylor. Taylor, why don't you roll up our next survivor?
Okie dokie. So, page 2. D20 first, sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be D20, and we're going to do it 4 times.
7.
All right. So you are rolling up the mechanic. So you can throw that in background. If you just stay on Survivor 2, I can tell you what to put there, and you can not have to multi-tab.
That's all right. All right, second roll is a 3.
3. All right. So, hobby is photography. All right. That could be interesting.
Go.
Yeah. And then we're doing flaw.
5.
Self-sacrificing to a fault. Interesting.
That's my self-sacrifice.
And then
Alrighty.
finally, your current injury.
That's a 15, but is that what?
Nope, that's not. It was,
I rolled 16.
Yeah.
Or something else.
Yeah, it was something else.
Ah,
You
I know
did
it
a
was close.
10.
So you are.
I'm pretty sure.
You
Yes.
are burned.
Hey, it was the example one.
Yeah. So, and I'll leave it to you to how you're burned, and we'll encounter that as a problem as it comes up. But do you want to be like severely burned? This isn't like a mild. It's not like mild, but like where on your body is severely burned.
Alrighty. Probably on her. Like I'm gonna say both thighs and right hip are probably like 2nd degree burns. She may have been in the engine bay when it all went wrong and explosion, hot bit of metal has fallen on her, pinned her, and that's just caused these great big burns across
So
her thighs.
Margaret, Matt, your you're the one that's seeing her, and so I think that in this moment we see this hot bit of metal on her legs in this moment, and even though
Yeah. I think
you
Margaret
think
is
that
Margaret's looking at that and is just like it's full like the adrenaline you get from like survival mode of like
Yeah.
my body's in crisis, I need adrenaline to do stuff, has like switched her back into like military mindset,
Mhm.
which I think she's sort of like mentally including everyone. I imagine there's not a lot of like civilian care in that training in this like somewhat
Yeah.
dystopian world we have. But I think being a crew member, she's like sort of subconsciously lumped in everyone that was a passenger with her as like on the same team. So she just sort of like holds the hands to chest and like keeps center of gravity and just like runs and shoulder checks this bit of metal to like
Ooh,
try and
yeah.
push it off.
Yeah. And then Taylor, what's this character's name?
This character's name is Stephanie.
Stephanie. Okay. Awesome. So Margaret comes over, shoulder checks this piece of metal off of Stephanie, and you are kind of freed from being pinned, but you now get that first look down at your legs. And as that happens, the camera just pushes past the both of you onto the other side of the camp, and we will go to Conlon. Let's figure out who you are. Gonna be rolling up.
All right.
D20.
Can I just say while Colin's rolling that, starting off with a brutal injury at like character build is so fun.
I rolled a
Yeah, you
17.
can die, by the way. I haven't made that explicitly clear. You can die right now. That is a possibility.
That one is dead.
I call it.
17.
I
Okay.
call it's probably me.
You are an asteroid miner. Very cool.
Okay.
And then for
One
hobby,
S. There we go. I also
With
forgot to put
minor, not a child.
So-
Oh God.
So for a second there, my background was just asteroid because I forgot to write minor. So
You're an asteroid. You're a big
used
rock.
to be a rock.
You are, to take it back to tech chat, rock hard.
asteroid. Am I right?
Just don't be an ass miner. That's terms and conditions right there.
No, no.
Whew. All right. Yeah, roll for hobby.
That's a 1.
Okay, gardening.
That feels useful.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're a miner and you can garden. Hell yeah. Go ahead and roll for flaw.
A green and a brown thumb. Rocks and
There you go.
plants. Don't. No. No. Bail.
What's that? What's that nursery rhyme?
No.
I don't know.
Little Jack Horner.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
God.
that one.
Not.
Nope. It's an American one. I'll tell you later.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We'll explain
Yeah,
it
I
when
got a-
you're older.
I got a 14 for flaw.
14. You are afraid of the dark
Ah, amazing.
as an asteroid miner.
I was just gonna say this is the episode of opposites, isn't it?
You
has, like,
have
12
so many
spare
headlamps
batteries.
at
Yeah.
home.
You're a walking headlamp.
And I feel like all of them have got the crank on the side as to be like,
Yes.
I refuse to rely on batteries.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're the like shake to charge ones. So you're
Yes.
just constantly walking around shaking.
Yeah.
But you're also like really into metal, and so you just headbang all the time.
Well, it works really well because when the light goes out, he gets scared and starts shivering, and that charges the light. So
Bingo.
Perfect. And last but not least, go ahead and roll for injury.
where I'm gonna fucking die.
Revertible
Don't roll a
shake
one.
waiting around the mine.
It's a shake pickaxe. It's
Bam.
not a jackhammer.
Hole.
It is a pickaxe.
These are some great emo clips.
Oh my god.
Somebody else will have to do it though, because I'm the only one that makes
Yeah.
emotes. So
That's true.
Yep. is why
11 for
no one else gets ever
injury.
stickered because no one else knows
Yeah.
how to do it.
Oh man, poetic roller tables. Temporary blindness.
Oh no.
You're in the
so-
dark.
All right, that's
So-
What a concussion. Damn.
Woof. So-
Amazing.
In this moment, your world has gone black. All you hear is the horror of a crash. People screaming. What is your character's name?
Oh man, what's shit. I should have thought about this when I was
It's a terrible name.
I'm trying to think of a rock pun and I can't think of any.
Well,
I mean, there's
I-
Brock, but
Dirk.
pewter.
There we go. I like pewter. Be pewter.
Pewter. Pew pew.
pew, pew.
All right.
Off to a rocky start.
Oh no! No!
How do you spell pewter?
I think
P-E-W?
yeah.
Yeah.
T-E-R. Yeah.
W-T-E-R.
Pewter.
Pewter.
Okay, so pewter is in the dark, hearing these awful screams and cries. You can hear as Margaret smashes the big heated metal off of Stephanie, and you can hear the whirring of the engine. And it's at this time that you are realizing there's people rushing past you. You're actually kind of near this engine, and it's getting louder. So currently, as Pewter lies on the ground, suffering from this temporary blindness, likely from, what would you say, like a concussion? Did you see a flash of light? What was it that caused your blindness?
I'm gonna say like a chemical spray, like some like ruptured piece of the ship,
Oh,
like
shit.
sprayed into his eyes, and
Yeah.
now he's got like
okay.
I don't know, blue goo like
Yeah,
covering
and
his
you
eyes.
probably have like just the faintest amount of vision, like just insanely blurry, just like maybe shadows, but they're super blown out. And so you probably picking yourself up and starting to figure out where you are. At this time, nearby you, we'll jump over to Melissa. Let's roll up your character.
I really hope that I actually get a nat one.
You're
just
getting
for shits and
this
giggles.
is
I
gonna be
mean,
the
it would be
funniest
great.
thing.
It would be great because you'll get to make another one.
Yeah.
But we get to learn who they are, and then they die.
And they immediately kill them.
Alrighty, mine
Blood for the blood god.
is.
Blood for the blood god.
Blood for the blood god.
Your sacrifice
Uh,
fuels our ship.
First one is 13.
Roll again.
That was mine for ex-military.
Yeet.
I did not mark these like I said I was going to, but I remember.
19.
19. Artist.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Artist.
Interesting.
I'll just use my medium is the blood of all of the people who did not survive the entire crash.
Woof.
Hot.
Hot.
Amazing.
Roll for hobby.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be
Bloodletting.
very. It's gonna be like the new king's royal portrait. It's just that.
Oh no.
It makes its way back.
It returns.
Oh god. Okay. 11.
All right. Hobby 11. Fishing.
Fishing.
That's very helpful.
Yes, thank god.
Hopefully
right.
there's fish.
We're in the desert.
Injury,
in the
no
desert.
arms.
Sandfish.
I have no arms.
It's just like
roll
apple
for
bobbing,
flaw.
but for fish.
Okay. So fishing for hobby. Flaw is 14.
14. Roll again.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I
God
got.
damn it.
I was gonna say,
12.
Well, runs from conflict.
Ooh.
Yay, goody.
These are some.
I mean, that means you'll probably survive longer.
I
That's
also
true.
like that. Like, I don't know. I love when the flaws like will be to the detriment of being on an away team,
Yes.
so that like you can find really creative ways to either like use them as negative traits or
Yeah.
like if your strategy is now about I just need to run away with the thing, this is now a positive tag.
Right. I mean,
I
yeah,
also
runs from
imagine
conflict means you are prone to doing that, so you're experienced at doing it.
Yes.
And the way
Roll to
Margaret
GTFO.
mouths off, I don't think they would get along.
It's so good.
Perfect. Yeah, Melissa.
Yes.
What is? Oh, we need to roll injury, and then I'll need a name.
Alrighty. Injury. Ah, damn, not a nat one. It's a 5.
5. Punctured lung.
Whoa,
Might as well be 1 at
Oh,
that
that's-
point. So
that's bad. It's real
That's real
bad.
bad.
it's been fun, guys. I mean, does she need a name technically, Andrew? Because she's not long for this world anyway.
This is bad.
You never know.
Yes,
Her name
real
is-
bad.
We could roll another medic.
So I think that
You still have one
most
good lung.
likely this
only need one,
which
really.
do you have a character name for them?
Rip.
Rip.
Or just R.I.P.
Rip. Well, as Rip lies there,
Short for Ripley.
wheezing,
Yes.
like suffocating, trying to get some semblance of air. I think that Pewter's fairly nearby, hears this whirring of this engine, and can hear this person like choking on their own blood. So you are over near this whoop, 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 going down, and people just start running by, and somebody's like, "Get out of here!" It's got blood." And somebody's like, "Oh no!" And he gets up and just books it. Not
Margaret's husband was
again.
here.
That's the character that doesn't get a name in the first episode, and every
Yeah.
person watching is like, "Who is this fucking guy? I want more about that guy. I want that guy."
Well,
He's like off in the corner of every scene. Like
Yes.
every scene he's in, just like doing something.
Like
There's
he
just-
He's
he
actually
he
the
gets,
reason the
one
ship
line
crashed.
per
Exactly.
episode.
There's immediate tinfoil hat. He's the one that did
He's-
it. Like, yeah.
He is Satan.
Yes.
You know, they're in purgatory. This guy is definitely.
I'm imagining for the punctured lung, there was probably a lot of debris and stuff, and like since it's a ship, there's probably
Yeah.
like framework
it's-
or anything like that, and with like crash landing, it's probably like a piece of it like jutting
Yeah.
out, and she just fell right on top of it. So
It's
Oh
a
my
silica
goodness,
desert, so
yeah.
you've definitely just got like desiccant silica in the
Oh.
wound, which is fine. It's good. That's good for you. It's dried out.
Oh.
You're not bleeding out.
Yeah, that does help.
I don't think
Wow.
it
To a
should.
degree.
Do it.
Sand's great for wounds.
I love it. Is like it does help, but kind of.
You can pack a wound.
Yeah, but
and then get very infected.
Yeah, it's like
Not if it's hot enough.
Kill me. Anyway,
All right. Well, Rip lies there, and people are getting out of the way of this. I'll say somebody that because unfortunately Pewter, though nearby, can't really see.
Yeah.
So I think somebody comes up to Pewter and is like, "Grab the other leg." Grab the other leg, and just like starts pulling Rip away from the potential explosion.
Little do we know, there's actually an entire race of people on this ship that all sound like that.
it's like yeah.
This is half of the characters.
This is half of the characters are just the Smurfs. This weird accent.
Oh man. I know his name too. Oh man. I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, say that for the reveal. Say that for the third act reveal.
Oh, it's locked in. It's locked in. All right. So as Rip is pulled out of the way of this, you can hear that and everything goes completely silent because you can't hear anything in this moment as that engine obliterates the area around it in an explosion. There's now a raging fire on that side of the camp, people getting out of the way. There, you can see like as the Wilhelm scream goes off and somebody just kind of like flips through the air in that explosion. And the sight is terrible. last but not least, on the first pass, is it Haley or Hallie? It's Haley, right?
Haley.
Okay, just making sure, because like,
Yella.
want to get it right.
Yeah.
So Haley,
Nope.
go ahead and roll up your character. As this explosion like whites out the camera, we kind of fade back in on your character's face as we are
I
learning. who
got
they
a
are.
natural 20.
Ooh.
Scholar. You are a
Was that
scholar.
Ooh. Is that background?
Yes, that's background. And then we're gonna
How do you
roll
spell scholar?
SCHO.
O-L-A-R.
I did it right!
Good
Yeah.
job! Yay!
We did it.
Yay.
Good job.
Roll for hobby.
Shit.
Murder. No.
8.
I'm a scholar of murder.
I got an 8.
Oh,
8.
this makes sense.
Reading. That makes sense. Which I mean,
Fuck
again,
me.
like to the
I'm
point of
useless.
tags, you can
I'm
really
fucking-
double down.
One of the stations
On
is
books.
science. One of the like the areas is science. You're good there.
Yep.
I doubt there's anything on here that we can't find a way to make useful.
You're saying
Yeah.
you're useless. I'm the one
If
with the
nothing
punctured lung.
else, you're meat.
I got a 2.
I will say there is a hobby for rock collecting, so like you never know. What was that for Flaw?
A 2.
Pathologically honest.
Yes! I love this. Okay.
And just don't roll a 1 for your injury, and you can play them.
Please don't. I love this character too much. We need what is
love him
clearly
already.
a very neurospicy nerd. We need this person in our crew.
I just get to play myself. I'm so excited. Except I'm not a scholar. That's fine.
You're a scholar of Warhammer, as far as I'm
I
concerned.
got a 2.
Okay, you are critically wounded. So
Oh
Okay.
shit.
I'm gonna let you pick in what fashion you are critically wounded.
Okay.
So you are
I
you are
think I
gonna
want to have
die
lost
if
a
not
limb.
intervened. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think my arm,
Yeah.
like one of them. Yeah.
Just
Or-
completely.
Because like I think a leg is too much to be able to
Yeah.
like.
Sure.
I think so. Like I would do it, but then I'd be on B team constantly,
Yeah,
and I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
be on
yeah.
my own. So
That's
like,
fine. No, totally.
yeah, I think I've lost an arm, like from
Yeah.
above the elbow.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's.
So, like,
I mean,
there's-
that's
there's some debris
aggressive.
and it's
Yeah.
just
So
Yeah.
you're.
Yeah, it's
all
trapped right now.
ripped. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Actually,
that
having it
as
being
the
trapped-
camera. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, having it ripped off would be like the worst because you can bleed out because all the blood vessels and stuff.
But it's a jagged
no,
wound. It
no,
heals
sorry,
faster.
no, it's
No,
the
we're
best.
just-
Sorry.
No,
Because if it's,
it
like,
was from the
ripped off, it
explosion, so it's super
pinches.
hot. It's already cauterized, so it's
Oh,
fine.
cauterized? Okay, we're fine. I was gonna say if it was like a sheer cut, then everything is just left open. You can like die of blood
Yeah.
loss. But if it's like crushed or ripped off, then there's potential of
rip-
those like blood vessels like pinching together, and the blood loss is minimalized. Ex-nurse.
Very cool. So I think
Actually,
that
it's the second
somebody
option.
is yeah. So as we see you there, as the camera kind of is zooming out from your eyes, you're just in shock, right? Like you are just completely in pain and beyond pain. You know, you are in this moment just experiencing the chaos of the environment. That engine is just blown. Your ears are still ringing. They already were because of whatever thing you just went through. And I think somebody that you again don't really make out their face or whatever, they're just like over top of you trying to like stem the bleeding as you're waking up. And just barely, you know, trying to keep you conscious and whatnot. They're like, "What's your name? What's your name?"
Oh fuck.
Terrible name.
No,
I don't recognize you without 2 arms.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
AWFUK.
Al-
Oh, fuck.
Alice. No, Alice.
Alice. All right.
In one armed land? That was a
Yes. Yeah,
Oh
was close.
my god.
it's not bad.
That was
All
a
right.
stretch, just like her arm.
Hey!
So here's
You're
what
muted if you're trying
You're
to
muted,
talk.
Matt.
I'm giving it the applause. it
clapping
deserves.
one-handed.
Yeah.
was brutal.
No, it's this one. It's this one if it's
That's
one hand.
right. Yeah.
So
I would do this, I
Oh,
think.
Oslin.
Oh, that
Jazz hands.
it's jazz hands.
It's like I can clap with one hand. I can clap with two hands.
I can clap
One-handed,
with no.
but I can't not make this face.
Anyone clap with chicks?
Taylor, I like how I bailed out of that joke 10 seconds ago, and you were just like, "Nah, I'm taking it."
Oh, then I saw that face.
Then I
So-
saw your face. Now I. Don't let
Next
me keep
is
singing,
going
go.
to be everybody's going to roll up their second character.
Okay, good, thank you.
And we continue through the site. So, who wants to jump back in? I'll just let it go popcorn style now.
Me.
All right, let's go, Melissa.
All right, let's see. What is that? 13, which I think we already did. We're rolling again. Whee!
Yep.
That's a 6.
I appreciate whoever is marking what we've done. Medical officer.
Thank fuck.
We needed it. This is what
die.
don't now want it. This is where it's gonna happen.
Okay, roll for
I
hobby.
so want a nat one.
All right, here we go.
Far out, I want a nat one.
9.
9 for hobby is hiking.
Hiking.
You are very useful.
Yeah,
Those-
hiking.
The dice are coming for your legs. I'm just warning you. Rolling that hobby.
Roll for flaw.
For flaw, that's a 5.
5. Roll again.
Roll again. Let's see. 13.
Secretly. Oh,
Ooh.
prejudice against authority.
Margaret is gonna get along with no one on this ship.
You're like, nobody tell me what
Margaret's
to do.
gonna be
Okay,
the
I
first
help
to die.
people.
Margaret is gonna get excommunicado real quick.
Damn it, man! I'm a
Did we
doctor.
decide
not a
that we're going
scientist.
to go straight to cannibalism? So Margaret's first.
No, she's
but
old.
she's
the meat's not gonna be
old.
good.
Yeah.
Remember,
and
no
she's
matter
really
what you
thin.
roll, you can always be meat.
You can always do that.
No
I
matter
will
what
be
you roll,
campaigning.
you're always meat.
As the cannibal king.
Oh my gosh. All right, and last but not least, injury.
All right, I'm kind of hoping for a nat one
Here,
just for the
this
shits
is where
and
it
giggles.
goes. This is where it goes off the rails.
Fuck. 3.
All right, 3. Severe blood loss.
Still not great.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good. But I would say you are probably the most capable person to deal
Hey.
with that problem.
Woohoo!
All right. And what is this character's name as our camera pans over them, lying there bleeding out?
Still hopeful. It's just hope, I guess. Probably just
Hope?
for
Oh,
shits
man.
and giggles.
Perfect. I love it. The doctor's name is Hope.
Oh my
Beautiful.
god.
All right. And any physical notes or description that you want to throw to us?
I have a suspicion. I don't know why I thought of this, but I was thinking of the nurse from Animaniacs, just like
Hello, nurse.
Oh, nurse. Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
just
I
like
don't know
long
who that
blonde
is.
hair. I'll explain it later, but
From
you'll see why it's
Animal-
hello, nurse.
Yeah, it's a nurse.
Oh.
That's for sure.
She's a nurse.
Oh, she's your stereotypical cool.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
She's a totally normal nurse, okay?
Yeah, she is. um, no, but like, lean figure, kind of long blonde hair. I'd imagine like, for the cinematic shot, there's probably like blood showing up actually in some of the
Yeah.
blonde hair,
Oh,
and
is it
I'd
a head
imagine-
wound? Is that?
yeah,
what she's
I'm
getting
thinking a head wound.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So,
Getting dizzy.
So, she'll have to act quickly to make sure that's taken care of. So,
Yeah. Very cool. So, continuing on, who wants to jump in?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, let's do it, Taylor.
I just want someone to get a nat 1.
A 14.
Corporate
I think you
business
had-
person.
Y-
can't
You
yeah.
talk.
are also not getting any medical attention, probably.
Corp.
I don't know. It's a leftover from
then-
Cyborg last
Yeah, we're coming off of Cyborg. We're riding a little
Yeah.
bit of an anti-corpo high here.
I mean, it's It's intrinsic in
Yeah.
this as well.
And then I got a 4 for injury. I what?
You are into rock collecting for your hobby.
Rock collecting.
You
Came
nerd.
Very cool.
And 16.
then flaw.
Oh man.
Stubbornly skeptical.
Ooh, that's fun.
No, we didn't crash.
No.
On a planet with alien life.
I like- yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
guys. UFOs seem a
I
little
know.
far-fetched.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that.
No, I swear.
And then I got a 17.
17.
Ooh,
Heat stroke. We're in a desert.
yeah.
You're
Why
probably
is
near
it
one of the
quick?
other engines or like something like that, and you're just like completely overheating. You're waking up in like you're drenched in your own sweat in this moment, and it's making you dizzy, having all kinds of heat strokey symptoms. All right, continuing on. Oh wait, do we know the name
The name
of our
this
corpo?
corpo is going to be David.
David. All right. Well, as David I think David's probably the person that is nearby, helping out Hope not completely bleed out.
Sorry,
with the missing arm.
I'm laughing at Robertables and shit. That's my real name, you ass. We just inserted Robertables into our cast here.
Oh my gosh. Very cool. All right, now, next, I think we still got a couple people to go here. Anybody want to jump in?
I can.
I'll jump in.
Oh, Haley, go.
Oh,
Here
go
we
Matt.
go.
You were on last time, so go.
Go, Matt.
Yeah. 3 for.
Technical officer.
I am the technical officer. I'm technically an officer. Oh, what a stupid joke. Technical officer. Here we go. And then rolling for the next one. Kapow! A 19 on hobby.
On
Interesting.
hobby.
Animal
Ooh,
lover.
Animal lover. Yeah. Not like that.
Lucky
Shut up,
we're
Twitch.
cannibals.
Just lucky we're cannibals, yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to think of like what pet. I'm gonna roll for the pet after I roll this guy because he 1,000% had a pet, and now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just a matter of.
Is the pet in the ship?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The pet was in the ship. Now did like during the crash like no Frederick and like grabs the cage like did Frederick survive? We don't know. Why did I name it Frederick? 6 for the flaw.
Frederick.
Exaggerates achievements. Incredible. Yes. Loving this man.
I've been a technical officer for a long time. I'm pretty much the best.
No, we're not. No.
My immediate thought as well, and I was like, no, I don't know.
Injury, permanent spray tan.
Oh my god.
So
Oh, man.
be crispy.
Brain rot.
It's brain rot. whatever that.
Boomerism.
Whatever that condition is that tips you forward at
Rolls one
45
dead.
degrees. Yeah. Yes. I rolled a 5, which is punctured lung, so I'm re-rolling that
Yep.
into a 7, which is respiratory distress, toxic exposure.
Oh.
So like some fumes from
Yeah.
the ship or something are throwing you off.
Okay, now I'm going to roll for the
You're
pet.
having an asthma attack pretty much. Like
If this is 10 or below, pet's dead.
uh-huh.
No Frederick.
Okay.
And I don't have to figure out what Frederick is.
Oh no.
It's a 14, so now I have to figure out what Frederick is. You know what? It's sci-fi. There has to be a cat. So it's gonna be a
Oh, yeah.
cat named Frederick.
Absolutely. And yeah, MIA as far as we know right now.
Ooh, interesting. we see him like it's one of those like we see the incident happening from like multiple angles and like it keeps backing up. Like we went to an ad break and then we're back and it's like before the engine exploded and this guy is just like stumbling out like with the cat carrier and then that's when the engines blow and just this huge fume of engine exhaust and shrapnel. Do not know where Frederick went. He goes flying and he just like wakes up like
Yep, definitely. Oh man. Next, Haley.
So
Oh wait, name.
11. Oh, the name's 11.
the name's 11. No, the Netflix will come after us. Lionel.
Oh my gosh, Lionel.
Oh God, he sounds unbearable.
he exaggerates his achievements. What do you want from me? He's a technical officer that exaggerates his achievements. I gotta look up what the fucking technical officer is, but yeah.
Who has the
What
same
was it?
skin consistency as bacon.
No, no,
What was
not
11?
canon.
All right, what was that?
11? Do I need to roll again? Or is
11.
that...
No. Parent and child.
Uh-oh. Oh no. So are both of
Okay.
them alive or?
Yep.
Canonically, daddy.
Daddy. Yeah, his name is Wallace. And then the
Wallace?
kid's name is going to be Gromit.
They don't even know the reference. Like it just happened.
They don't. No,
No.
in this universe, canonically, Wallace and Gromit doesn't exist.
No, not at all.
Except for in this. All right. Roll again.
Hobby.
10.
10. Meditation. Wallace is a vibe. This dad
Wallace
keeps
is-
it on lock and never yelled at his kid once.
This guy, he's a crunchy, munchy granola dad
Yeah.
that just like is.
I understand we're having a lot of big emotions after that ship crash. We're just gonna have
They
to
do, yeah. He does like.
you need to feel right now.
butthole
Feel your
sunning.
emotions.
I'll save space for you. It's okay.
You don't have to do anything. You
I'm
don't
holding
want
space.
to.
for
I think
both
I'm
of
the
them right now.
only one that heard you,
Yeah.
Haley. I don't think
That's
anyone else heard what
exactly
you said.
Based off of Henry. I love you.
I missed it entirely.
No, I don't think anyone else heard what I said, and I'm glad for it.
I heard it.
16.
16. Roll again.
Got a nice little rear tan.
4.
4. Oh, what? Okay, I think
It's not working. The
It's not.
meditation isn't working.
uncontrollable temper.
Well, the meditation's the dad. The uncontrollable temper is the child.
Oh, that's
Oh.
true. Yeah.
This kid is a nightmare.
This kid is the
Yes.
worst.
All right.
Because if
Or
the
is
dad
it the other
doesn't
way
do
around?
He has grabbed
I think
the
he's
other
confused.
characters. He has grabbed the bottom half of Alice's arm and is just smacking people with it.
Oh my god. Need a hand? You know, Dad, I've got to hand it to you.
Oh.
You're keeping calm under pressure.
And all he
Keeping
does is
pulp
like sit
under
down and just like, now we don't hit people with other people's hands.
Back off, I'm armed, Robert.
If
Robert,
you're gonna do
no.
anything with another person's hand, reach out in kindness.
Yes.
All right, injury. Please don't roll a 1.
No.
Matt.
5.
5. Roll again.
We're getting a lot of punctured. We'd be having a lot of punctured
3.
lungs if it was not for that.
3. Roll again. We had a lot of low numbers
Yeah.
already.
19.
19. Trivial head wound. You got a
Nice.
bonk.
Nice.
Well, maybe a little scar for fun.
From the kid hitting his dad with the arm.
Yes.
There was a ring on
completely
the hand.
unscathed, and then he's just like, "Now we don't do that."
The kid is completely unarmed. It's the dad that's just injured.
Is
Yes.
head wound
Unarmed.
1 word or 2 words?
Sorry?
It's 2.
Head wound?
Two
That's like-
words.
That's 2
2
words.
words. Yeah, I was like, hold on.
We
I was like,
all.
I don't know.
But
This is why I hire an editor.
Oh, that's
Haley,
too
this
real.
is when you use your scholar character to spell it out for. the
That's too
other-
real. That editor comment hit me.
Oh my gosh.
Jake,
Oof.
no.
Oh
No,
my
Wallace
gosh.
is letting the kid keep the arm because otherwise that's no. That's
Yeah, you don't want a
asking for
tantrum
trouble.
in the middle of a crash. Like,
That's his now.
I just have the feeling that the dad, just like one thing goes wrong and he will be fucking ballistic.
Yeah.
And that's the
The
only thing
kid gets
keeping
it from
sane.
him. Like the meditation is for a reason. The meditation is working.
That's
oh
the
man, the kid's the Hulk.
No, the dad's the Hulk because
Yeah, the
always
dad
angry.
is the whole.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and then is that
Conlon me.
everybody, and then Conlon,
Yep.
Conlon, yeah.
last one. All right.
Oh man.
I've already rolled all my
We
dice,
kind of pan through Wallace and Gromit, like having like a talk, as like the blood gets wiped off the forehead, and it's just we go right between the two of them over to Conlon's character. What'd you get?
I rolled a 16 for the
16.
background.
Yes.
Nice.
Very
Get the
nice.
fuck off my expo, chef.
Hobby.
I rolled a 2.
Painting. All right. And flaw.
He's appreciating what Gromit is doing with the
Yes.
blood.
Yeah.
I somehow now have the 2 characters that I've rolled were afraid of the dark, and then I rolled a 3, which is fear of small spaces.
Yes.
It's all the fear over here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh
So-
man.
some of the
I know,
worst
like a nice
sci-fi
spacious,
fears,
open
too.
concept kitchen, you know, nice open. And last, what's your injury?
We already have a 5. Yeah, we do.
Yep.
We already have a 2.
We
They're
have
high
lots
numbers.
of the bad ones.
We got a lot of
All
bad
right,
ones.
well, I got a 6, so shock-induced catatonia.
Oh no. So you're just out of order, okay? Like,
Shell-shocked.
yeah,
Oopses.
just like sitting.
tried
I
turning
feel
it
like
off and on again?
you're like outside of the glassy crater, just kind of sitting there staring at people dealing with their litany of wounds and just probably mute for like the first couple days kind of thing. Yeah,
Makes
very
sense.
interesting. So, as we meet this cast and the camera kind of begins to zoom out, I will throw to any one of you that would like to delve deeper into the backstory of one of these characters. Ideally, one of the ones that you have rolled up here, and we will do our very first flashback. Anybody want to try that out? And I can give some more guidance on that and help you set it up and all that. Don't feel like you just have to make a bunch of stuff up.
Since we're encouraging metagame in this,
Yeah.
probably somebody who is not near death should
Mhm.
probably get it, or who's like somewhat redeemable, so I don't remember all of the injuries from everybody. Because one of my
Sure.
characters is not worth it, so
They're
Maybe.
out. They are
yeah.
unconscious.
Nope.
Well, no, like, should we not send the medical officer to deal with the person
could
with
make
the
sense.
worst injury?
Yeah. We could.
Definitely, we could do that. That doesn't have to be any flashback specific stuff. Like, there's things I
Oh,
think
flashback.
that
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we're entering into
Oh,
right
yeah,
now
sorry, I
too.
completely forgot.
No,
I was
no,
like,
you're
what's
fine.
happening in this thing?
So what we're entering into is kind of the first narrative flashback, and though we have a lot going on at the camp, this is kind of where I'm going to stick us in a little bit more of a demo territory than like a
Mhm.
long form campaign. Like, we could play out all of these issues, right? We could go through each of them, and that's totally up to the group. You also can kind of just like narratively like fade to black to like a week from now, right? Like, where now like you realized you're here and you're not getting off, right? So we can kind of zoom out a little bit and we'll cut to a flashback, and then we'll go forward in time a little bit and talk about, in reverse, we'll talk about what happened during that initial week. So anybody want to jump into one of their characters' history before this crash?
I could do a Margaret scene potentially. If no one's got anything else that they're chomping
And here's
at
the
the bit
thing,
for.
because it's not tied to a task right now or anything,
Mhm.
you just get to do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
You can just add a thing, and it doesn't even have to be super prescribed of like, I'm now good with scissors, you know, because like reason, you know, it's like you can just set up an interesting question, and then when we write a title for it, you're always going to reference that whole memory as a tag for however it could apply to a situation.
We should do a flashback where Margaret's just like using her feet like an ape, and so like now
That's how she can sew. No, what I was actually thinking is, I feel like this is certainly a trope I know from Survivor, which I feel like is very like adjacent to Lost, just unscripted. But there's always that one person that is like, I'm clearly the most geared up to lead, and just starts kind of taking over in like the panicked power vacuum. And it's usually someone military or like that's used to like, the adrenaline in my system is not inhibiting my brain from making things happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think what I'm thinking is this is going to be some sort of
like leadershipy
in the moments
flashback.
Right after the explosion. Margaret is just like, well, that's fucked, but I'm just going to go hyper delegate mode. I'm going to trying to go through and identify, find the nurse, find just doing this inventory on who is here and taking control of the situation. Not out of some sort of sense of it. I feel like it arcs this way of she's the villain, where it's she's taking too much control later on, but right now it's just out of emergency she's doing it. And maybe this is let me go to the flashback rules.
What was the name of the guy in Lost? Locke?
That sounds familiar.
Well, yeah, Locke was the survival guy, the bald guy, whereas Jack is
Jack was
it was always Jack and Locke that were both vying for control in a lot of ways.
Butting heads, Yep.
So so let me talk you through flashbacks. So especially for our listeners, flashbacks are what I really think is going to make this special. If you've played Microscope ever by Ben Robbins, very talented designer in his own right, I'm just stealing some of the stuff that he does and I'm putting my own spin on it. Basically in Microscope, you do scenes. This is essentially a small improv scene. We call it a flashback because we're diving into a specific character's backstory. In that flashback, the character that initiates a flashback has two initial responsibilities. You need to set the scene and you need to state the question. Those are some of the most important parts because that's going to facilitate us doing a little improv scene. Now, what the scene can be is it can be very, very basic. You can just say we are in the lunchroom at high school, right? Whatever, you can just set up the actual scene. And what the fun part is you can kind of make this your palette, right? If everybody's using a paintbrush together, we're all dipping from this initial scene definition. And so in this, you can say things that are not going to be in the scene, kind of like rules for everybody. So you can say, specifically, my brother will not be in the scene. You could have a reason for that. You could not have a reason for that. It could be very arbitrary. You can say specific characters that will be in the scene. And then also we all as players have an opportunity to just kind of step into the scene and say who we are. As long as it doesn't defy what you set up in your premise. So number one is you set the scene. Number two is you state a question. Again, this is an opportunity to stack the deck. You don't have to get super complex with it. A good example is what was I given to betray the fleet, by so-and-so, right? You've created an NPC in their history. You've created this drama and betrayal. We don't know what the object is, so we have to play to find that out. But we know I will betray them. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. It also can be very simple. There can be a yes or no question, will I betray so-and-so? And then we kind of play to find out the answer to this question. So for you, in exploring leadership and a memory, what kind of scene would you like to set? And then what kind of question would you like to ask? And I can help you shape that as well.
I think this is not the promotion, but this is the thing that happened to earn her a promotion later on that was into more of an officer, in charge of other people kind of role. So this is whatever that event was, and maybe it is something on the scene, not necessarily crime scene, but like in some sort of like go here, do this thing, like kind of an
Like
away
on
team,
a mission?
like on a
Yeah.
mission, yeah, some assignment from Gorgon,
Yeah,
and I
totally.
think so. I think that's that, and then the
Any characters that you want to push into the scene, or just leave it wide open?
I think I'm gonna leave it wide open. I'm gonna say
Okay.
that the question is it her fault that she didn't have any friends after this?
Interesting. I like that. That's juicy. There's a lot. So we don't know. We know that she won't have friends after this. That is a nice little component to this. So she doesn't get friends after this. We know that. We don't know why, and we don't know what's going on in the mission. We also know that this is partially why she ends up with a promotion. So now what we get to do is, before this gets acted out, we don't need to get into anything else. This is the nice juicy premise. But anybody that wants to say, "Ooh, I want to be in that scene," speak up now. You usually don't want everybody in the scene. It gets very chaotic. But this is more true improv. There's no roles. This is definitely a yes and thing. If somebody states something, it exists. It's part of the scene. So if somebody's like, "And then I shoot you and you die," that happened. Like, that can happen in this scene. And so keep that in mind. And feel free to throw your hat in the ring. It can just be a scene between two. I also can hop in as well.
Jump in.
I'd
I
like to
can
get in
be-
there too. So
Can I throw like an idea for
Yeah.
the scene? I don't know that I necessarily want to be in it, but I'm wondering if like kind of that Black Rock style, thing could be like a mission gone wrong, like a military mission of some kind gone wrong that you're like,
Trying to
I
right
don't
the
know,
ship.
throwing that out as
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe the people who are there are like your
Yeah.
last group of friends / company kind of thing.
Yes, I like that.
Cool.
Yeah, and then Taylor, you wanted to
Okay.
be part of it.
Yeah. So we know after this flashback, you have no friends
Yep,
And a promotion.
and a promotion.
and a promotion. BFF.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. We're on that wavelength. We're on it.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna be the rookie.
bet.
Okay.
Can
You
I
guys
be
wanna
the
jump into it?
witness?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Whatever
that's
that
what I
means.
want.
Whatever
And
that means.
the other
yeah.
thing is, you can also, like, Conlon, like, for example, you could jump into the scene if it feels appropriate, and then immediately leave it, and then come back into somebody else, or like whatever. Like, we all get to play around right now.
Yeah, so I'm just putting that out there. If it fits at any point, I'm jumping in.
Yeah. All right, Matt, GM us into this moment with the camera, and then we will get into this.
Okay.
Starting with me, you, and Taylor, and then it'll go from there. We got like a couple minutes to explore this, and then answer the question of why you don't
Yes.
have friends after this.
No, what was it her fault that she doesn't have
was
any
it her
friends?
fault?
Was it her
there
fault?
we go. We need to know that.
So I'm gonna say that this is going on like a raid. Like
Mhm.
there's a location, there's a warehouse, there's probably something that is illegal in there, but details have been minimum, as is the world of CorpoSec, and they're just deployed, and so we are maybe we are
And we
seeing-
can leave things open, right?
Yeah.
Remember, we don't have to define everything.
Yeah.
It's more
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, give us the camera shot,
yes,
and then we'll explore that.
so we are seeing like footsteps, like those chunky like military boots, and like just quickly like that like quiet march as we are moving down an alleyway, and you see Margaret is holding a pistol and like quickly like moves towards the door, nods, and then I think Taylor is going to be putting the like blast charges on the door.
Now, do you connect the red wire to the bottom or the top? Because
Why-
if you
why are you-
last time he did it,
Why are you being so loud?
sorry, I got excited,
Yeah, I saw that.
but I
Right.
still need to know: do you connect it to the top or the middle, right there, where and like
Shh, it's now is not the time. Let me do my job.
Just trying to
Give you a
learn.
rundown after.
Okay.
And she puts the red wire in the middle.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I would. Yep.
Watch now, learn after.
So we all kind of back up and boom,
Yes, back
door
up.
goes.
For these scenes, should I be like the when it bounces out of
Somewhat,
a character?
yeah.
Okay.
Like we any of us can state like
Okay.
a thing that occurs in that way, and then we can keep it moving. So the door blows, and we all kind of step out. What is in why? Okay, this room is full of. There's lasers. There's like. There's a sniper or
Get
something.
down and just shove the rookie over towards like a pile of boxes and duck the other way. And then all the lasers keep moving around for an awkward amount of time
Yeah.
to where it's like this. There's no gunfire, and it's just that like weird, horrible, pregnant pause of
Yeah.
waiting for something to explode that doesn't. Susan, go check.
Okay. I just became Susan.
I've nominated. It was gonna be one of you. I've nominated one of you as Susan.
I'm beating by a split second, so that's totally fine.
And I just kind of peek around the door, and then you hear, because I start to talk and then immediately turn it back into a whisper, but I want to be heard on the mic. I think it's just like a drone on the ceiling. Do we have any tech expert that could help us out with that?
Where is it specifically?
Ceiling.
Southeast corner, southwest corner.
Right in the middle. Good line of sight on the whole room.
Okay. And then I will pull out my pistol. I don't want to take a shot at it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So does it come down? Do you fail? This is up to you.
Oh. 2 of my shots clip its wings. And then the third one, I actually managed to hit like a vital part.
Oh, nice.
And then
So yeah,
and
it
then
comes
you hear
down.
a yelp from upstairs as a bullet hits a
Stray
civilian.
bullet.
Yes.
Oh no!
And you hear someone yelling
was that?
for help now upstairs. Are you
Shit,
gonna
I
ignore
thought this
them?
warehouse was supposed to be clear.
Apparently not. You two stay down here. I'll go get that. And I'll
Okay.
going up the stairs, like the clink 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 metal
Yeah.
stairs, and burst through the door, like doing all those like sweep and clear
Corners.
like corners. Yeah. And what do I see, Haley?
Yeah, just a casual civilian. You've broken into an apartment. This building was not cleared at all, and it's just like some person laying there, just like on a rug.
Just
It
moving
now
in.
has a bullet wound.
Now has a bullet
Yeah,
wound.
with now has a bullet wound and is compromising your mission. Yeah.
I'm just gonna move in, like holster the gun, and just like doing like a quick sweep, and just like big, chunky gloved hand over the mouth. Shut up. Who the hell are you?
I just got screaming help because you're a stranger with a gun in my apartment building.
We are
I'm
cleared.
alerting everyone with my yells.
You
so you
shut
have
up.
to either cover my mouth. Yeah.
And just like covers the mouth and does like a quick like into the floor. Knocks her
down.
out. What the hell?
I think the probably me and unnamed Taylor NPC probably like are creeping up now and just peeking around the corner, and I just peek my head and I go, "Is that another civilian?"
It is. It's at least another. You found more?
Yeah, there's 2 out here.
Fucking shit. Why are they here?
I don't know.
Did you ask them? Did you detain them?
Did you detain them? No, we did
Oh,
not.
right,
They
me,
are
sorry.
very upset with us.
Line.
Canon. No, just canon ADHD moment of that character. Just like, oh, me?
Sorry, I was reading some of the rules. I'm so sorry.
We're good.
I was like brushing up.
Did we detain
Yes,
them?
Yes, but that wasn't a drone.
What the
That
fuck
was a
was
motion sensor security camera.
Oh.
it? What is this place? And I'm just gonna like searching around, and it's just this like low sec, like basically human trafficking like warehouse. Like
Yeah.
these are all people that are refugees, in
Right.
betweeners, people that are stuck in the middle of some sort of transient escape, and it's then. Is it okay for me to decide the answer?
Yeah, absolutely. We're playing to find out.
Sure.
If you now feel like you have the answer.
I feel like I have the answer, and I'm like, just hold them still and quiet. I'm gonna ring this in. And she just like gets on like comms. There are fucking civilians here. Lots of them.
Can I jump?
Yeah.
Can I jump in?
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah. Voice on the other end. Did you detain them?
One of them's knocked out. The other two are yes, and the other ones are staying to their rooms.
Orders are kill on sight.
Copy.
I think flashback scene right there. So we know what happens. next.
Camera pulls away, and you're just seeing
Yeah.
the outside of the warehouse, and then the pops and the light flashes of gunfire.
And
What-
as that last flare goes off, the scene kind of fades back, and you can see the desolate desert in the distance. There's been some time that's gone by, about a week. The reality is all of these survivors are in the middle of a desert. And with limited food and supplies, the only thing they have to work with is the wreckage to salvage what they can and survive. But they will need to go out and find a safer place to set up a more permanent camp. So, I think, I don't know how y'all do breaks, but I think we're at a good break point. And
Yes,
then
we
we
are.
will, when we come back, we will kind of talk through just a little bit collaborative storytelling of what happened in that first week. Maybe set up some scary moments that have occurred in our history in that week. And then we will begin a mission.
Heck yes.
And for everybody watching, you can check out this game as a part of ZineQuest on Kickstarter
Cha-chow.
in 3 days. You can check it out, and hopefully you guys choose to back it. I'm excited to get this game out there. It'll be on itch in the future, but this is going to be a print run. There's going to be a lot of cool rewards. I'm excited to get this game out. There's lots of cool art that I've been sharing on Blue Sky, so check me out over there.
All of this overlay.
All of that stuff is what this is gonna look like. I'm a big fan of Mike Mignola, the guy that created Hellboy and does really, really compelling artwork. And so I'm kind of leaning into that style for a lot of the art for this game. And I'm having a blast. So yeah, I think we're gonna go to break. Matt, anything else?
That's it. The link to the Kickstarter page is in chat. Go and save it so that when it's live in 3 days, you'll be able to back it straight away. And
We
we'll be
On
need
it
you
right now.
to give money.
and we will be right back in 5 minutes. Don't go away. back.
Well, we're back in it, and in fact, we are a little bit down the road. This crash was catastrophic. This ship is beyond repair. Part of it is 3 miles away from what we could see from that initial smoke plume, where it seems like the desert seems to peter out into some dark, shadowy skyline in the distance. And as far as we can tell, there is not any abundant natural resource in the immediate vicinity to help in terms of food and water. We will need to make camp somewhere else. This is different conversations that's gone out throughout the course of the week. Some people have pitched up tents. Others have, now that the fires are pretty much put out, set up shop inside of some of the rooms of the ship that are still intact, albeit upside down. And there have been people that have been scavenging parts and things from the ship itself for survival purposes, whether it's to make a little lean-to or to, make something to protect themselves. I'd love for us to define some history for this week. There's going to be 3 things that have happened. One is going to be a beautiful moment. Another is going to be a horrific moment. And another is going to be a confusing moment of mystery and intrigue. So anybody have an initial idea? I'm saying, you're going to just tell me something that has happened during this initial week of just trying to get by in the middle of this desert. So any of those 3 moments that somebody would like to define. Haley.
I have an idea if you're happy for me to take the beautiful moment.
Go for it.
I would like to employ someone else though to do this with me. So anyone that this feels like it would fit in. I feel like we want Wallace and Gromit, and we want Gromit to be having like the fucking worst time right now. Like, is just going through the motions, and he just wants to like break shit. And so I'm thinking we need to like redirect that energy, and this beautiful moment is him working with like the demo crew. Like he's like pulling shit apart, like, and it's just this nice moment where like we're seeing someone else maybe like people helping each other. I'm not sure who else would be doing like the demoing in the group. But
it could be anyone. I mean, that's the thing too. Like you're outside of having to embody just one of your characters right now. We're kind of just viewing it in the like a quick little series of like
vignettes.
Montage.
Vignettes
over the course of the initial
That's what I
week.
think is happening.
That's awesome. I love that. I mean, that's a big part of this initial idea for this game, is like people being in these situations where they just have to take care of each other is truly beautiful. And like the way that we are able to take care of each other and survive is kind of the point. I love that.
I have an idea to build off of that. What if it was like, everyone's in tents, it's these like sort of ephemeral living spaces, and we want to start building more permanent structures, because I picture like the horribleness of like this like super fine silica desert is, plus it's gotten glassed from the explosion, is like when the wind happens, it just shreds you. So they are wanting more permanent structures. What if Pewter has been working on like getting some rock and like just turning that into like brick-sized chunks that can be arranged into proper like structures.
Igloos?
Like make glass igloos, or like just something that is like a stable, fortified structure that we can work up some mortar to put that. And it's like, Gromit, we got a job for you, buddy. This rock needs to be smaller bits of rock, and just going to fucking
smash
town.
Glass can do.
Yeah.
Gromit smash.
Gromit smash.
Very cool.
Beautiful.
So we have this beautiful vignette of people working together and beginning to build some of these initial structures. I think the very night after some of these structures get erected, I think that this is when our horrific or mysterious thing is going to occur. So anybody want to jump on that? Go for
I'll
it,
let
Melissa.
Conlon take it.
Which one did you want to do, Mel? Did you have
I was going to
horrific
do
or
horrific,
mysterious?
or I have an idea for like confusing, So whichever one you had the preface for, I'll do the other one.
Okay. I'll do horrific. Weirdly, this shouldn't be surprising, but Matt and I are the same person, and we had the same thought. So building off of what Matt was saying, I think the first night that they sort of like got these houses built, or the like temporary structures built out of these things, a few of the like more uninjured people from the ship went out into the desert looking for anything, like some supplies, like, you know, whatever they could find, some sign of hope. They, you know, starting the scouting trips, basically, like they've nailed down shelter. And I think a few of them probably just didn't return, kind of maybe playing into some of the mystery stuff. But I think the horrific thing is that the ones who did come back have now taught this crew that they need to cover their faces when they're in the desert, because they come back with lungs shredded on the inside from silica dust, just desiccating and eating through their the lungs and all of their lung tissue. And so they come back just hacking up blood and horrifically dying a few hours later.
One of them has like the only patches of skin on their face that are whole are over their mouth and like top forehead, because they did this, but the sand kept like sand blasting away skin where they couldn't cover.
Oh gosh, yeah. Awful. Love it. Oh,
This
man.
is not Tuesday, Matt
I
Conlon.
love this shit.
That was horrific. That was fucking horrific.
Love it.
Right, what's the
And-
mystery, Mel?
Yeah,
Oh
what's
my
the
God.
mysterious thing that occurs in this initial week?
So I feel like first was first is the beautiful part. Then it's the horrific, you know, aftermath of what people had experienced and telling like these wild tales of, you know, wind that shreds you to pieces and destroys your lungs from the inside out. And I feel like that story kind of like simmers a little bit with the people, as some of them are kind of like, you know, croaking left and right. And one night, I'd imagine some folks are probably like doing patrol or something, or like kind of doing this circle around like this very pseudo like permanent camp, just to try and find any sort of semblance of something useful. And it's starting to get dark. And just before, I'm thinking like dunes, like full on like mountains of nothing but silica, and it's hard to like kind of look over the horizon a bit. And I feel like as it's starting to get darker, the leftover survivors are seeing like silhouettes of people or something kind of hanging out at the edges, and they're like right at the edge where it's the top of the silica mounds, and you see like the sun that's like slowly setting behind them. Or I imagine like this planet probably has like two suns or some Star Wars reference.
So it
Sorry.
doesn't actually have a sun.
It's in dead space.
It's in dead space.
Oh.
So
Strike
it's,
that, reverse it.
Which begs the question,
it
how
has
is it
a lot
lit?
of stars. It is often still going to be like enough. There are enough stars nearby, but it's not in a clear orbit.
Okay.
So there is still a day-night cycle, but it's very dimly lit.
So I'm thinking then in that case, it's probably more dusk-ish.
Yeah.
So still dark enough for you to see like, oh, it's daytime. Oh, it's nighttime. But you see like these silhouettes of just things that are standing in the horizon and they're not moving. And I feel like one person who is, you know, kind of standing guard, and they're kind of like rubbing their eyes a bit and they're trying to see, and they see another one pop up. And then they quickly like try and grab a friend of theirs who's like doing patrol with them. And when they both look back, they see another and another and another. And then frantically trying to get like Margaret, for example, like someone of some higher authority, and like pulling her away to try and see, and they point and all of them are gone.
I want one thing to have happened, but like Margaret gets there and like they're gone. I want to invoke Stephanie because she's got the photography hobby. Yeah, and it's like Stephanie, like they're doing that thing, but then like we like time passes and like we see like this other like scene of Stephanie like developing like old school like film photography, and it is of these like silhouettes like on the distance big telescopic lens, but there's all this like fucked up artifacting on the film that like makes it all kind of weird and like it's like there's like a
after
barcode.
images.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like each silhouette is, it's like this like barcode striping like fades away from each
Yeah.
one. Like it was like a fucking J.J. Abrams like lens flare on the
Yep.
film.
I think David has like convinced half the group that it's like a doctored photo, and then like because he's the skeptical one.
Yes.
So like there's,
Absolutely.
like, or like majority don't believe it. Like
Yeah.
and it's the I like that. That's
awesome.
And Stephanie just doubles down. She's like, no, I've gone through all my equipment. There's nothing damaged. There's no sand in anything. Like, there's no reason these photos should be coming out distorted. But yeah, like Haley said, David had doubled down.
I love it.
Absolutely. I love that. That's so good.
So I think that after that night, there's just a weird air about the camp. There's
Yeah.
just lots of silence. Like we'd had these moments of like, yeah, we're doing it. We're going to survive and we're going to get rescued. And then it was just like, and then everybody just freaking went out and died and is coughing up blood. And then what did we see last night? And so just like you probably hear the only like I said, it's a very quiet day, but like there's a couple people that like are freaking out and like fully just like, what the heck was that? I don't even understand. And then like you just hear that argument off in the distance there. And at some point, and again, I'll throw it back to y'all to decide how this happens. There's going to be some catalyst for like, we need to get out there and probably check out where the rest of the ship fell, because there is most likely most of the medical supplies as well as a lot of the rations, because the entire med bay was in the back of the ship, as well as a lot of the food storage. So we need to locate that. So that would come up in conversation and somebody drums up that initial team.
I think it's just we're out, right?
Yeah.
Like we're out. We're out, or whatever this place had. It had like a canteen, and then that was it. Like
Yeah.
We also
not the.
We had a ton of we had a punctured lung, severe blood loss,
Yeah.
critical like
Anything
like,
you had.
we had everything we had went into like making those stable,
Survive.
and now it's just like we got nothing. We're out.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
like-
responsible for both.
Oh, you came back with a sandblasted face off. We've got nothing for you. I'm sorry. We're running out.
There was nothing we could do. So yeah, I think it's like looking for that second half of the ship for medical supplies for
Yes.
for any future injuries, because we've still got like limbs missing, and that's going to take longer to heal
Yeah.
than
These hurt.
a week. Yeah.
So
I gotta
Gotta
relearn
make
how
sure-
to like do everything, because I lost my dominant arm.
yeah.
So like
So can I throw something else in there too into the mix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a suggestion. What if, like, that first night when the mysterious, like, silhouettes started showing up, every night after they've, like, inched closer?
Oh, I hate and love that. I hate and love that. Yes.
Yeah, that's
And it's, like,
Oh,
little
that's-
bits at a time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that other prompt of, like, oh, fuck, well, we should probably see what
Got a
the other
timer.
half has. Yeah.
and the
Yep.
barcodes, as they get progressively closer, the barcodes get wider and wider until
Mhm.
like it's just the
I
photos
think
aren't developing.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Can't
prompt. I
lose
don't
all-
know if we'll run this out all the way down, but that will prompt our first clock. So we're
Ooh.
going to make a
Ooh,
clock
what?
for the
Yes.
silhouette. And
Oh no,
Oh, no.
let's
We did this
say
to ourselves.
it's gonna
we
be
did, and I'm here for it. This is so
like,
good.
3 more ticks, I think, before they would be like dangerously close. So I'm gonna track this in our character stuff. Where's the camp page? I'm in the wrong document.
Oh, it's in the camp
Oopsies.
page.
I'm adding it to the camp page.
Gotcha.
It's not on there.
Oh,
Um,
I was looking at the. Wait, who the hell is?
Yeah, I think
Oh.
Conlon named the chef when we didn't notice.
Yeah, is it Guy?
Guy
Fred?
Fiery.
Guy Fire.
Guy Fiery.
I was looking at it, I'm
my
like,
God.
who the hell is that? And then I read Shocked and Juiced. I was like,
Ah, there it is.
I'm just
Never
gonna
leave
add-
me on my own.
I'm gonna add a very short description to this guy. Hold on.
Wears green overalls. No.
Mayor of Flavortown.
I just said you know exactly what he looks like.
He's
Alright.
on a mission. Their camp will be called Flavortown.
He's been campaigning since day one. He will back anyone for leader that just
He just
promises
keeps
to name it
writing
Flavor Town.
He's the painter too, so he has this little paint set. He just keeps going around writing Flavortown on things like signs and putting them up. People keep tearing them down. Like, God damn it, we're
Not
dying.
Flavortown.
I swear to God. If you put another one of these up, we're gonna have a problem.
The guy ends up with one on his back in the middle of the night.
Kick me for flavor.
All right. Well, we are going to embark on our first mission. So we need
Yay.
to declare one character per player, and this is called embodying a character. So you are now kind of zooming in, and this is more of your traditional TTRPG experience where you are in control of your character. That said, you can still do flashbacks. Typically for the game, the way we do flashbacks is either once per session, or you have something on your character sheet called Drive, which we will roll for in a second.
Yes.
Drive is essentially stamina, whereas HP is more straightforward. That's your health. And so Drive is something you will spend in order to re-roll. So if you're rolling your 2d6, it's not really advantage disadvantage so much as that you are fully re-rolling that with whatever type of affinity that you currently have. Okay. So even if it's roll 2d6, take the lowest, you're re-rolling both d6 when you spend a point of Drive.
Okay.
You also can
Okay.
spend a point of Drive to enact a flashback, but you do not need to do that for your first flashback of the session.
Okay.
Is it so sorry? Just with the flashbacks, is it one per like player per day, or is it like
Player,
one
yeah.
flashback overall? One per player.
one per player. Yep. And
Sweet,
that
okay.
way, that way we don't just like spiral into kidding out our characters for
All
like
of the
whole session.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
That's
it's
fine,
not a
that's fine.
Family Guy episode.
There's a flashback within a flashback.
We're going
I've
too
never
deep.
This reminds me of that
Family
one
Guy.
time.
This reminds me of that one time.
Okay,
No, I forgot that
I've
that
never seen
humor
Family Guy.
existed. I forgot it
You're
existed,
welcome.
and Colin has shunted it straight back into my brain. I hate
So-
it.
I'm here for.
I would like
I feel like
everybody
Hope should
to. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, we're just assigning
I was
characters
gonna say
right now. Yep.
Yeah. The fact that she has a hobby and a history of hiking, I feel like she would probably be
Mm-hmm.
the best to lead some sort of expedition.
Yeah.
And I think she'd be stable enough.
Yeah.
With the head injury.
Well, head wounds do bleed quite a lot, but this is because there's so many vessels. But to be
Yeah.
a lot,
We
but
had
it's
a
also
week.
It's
been
a week
Yeah, I
odd.
was just gonna
Yeah.
say it's a week.
Yeah.
Do we have some medical supplies? Like, is that kind of what we're
Yeah,
rolling with? It's
so
like we had
we-
some that like
Yeah.
we had some.
we
Yep.
stabilized,
But now
Yep.
we need more. Yeah.
Yeah,
we've
depending
run
on
out.
how you would run the first week or so, there's a couple ways to do it. One is essentially to keep all these wounds as if they had happened and they're not currently going to kill you, and they were resolved, or you handle the ones that you want to in the moment and go from there. Especially when you're doing a more tutorialized thing, I try to keep the drama moving of having had the wounds, as opposed to like, and now we're rolling d6s and I don't know how
Yeah.
anything works yet. So I like to keep the narrative moving, and then we get into more of the mission side. So that said, why doesn't everybody go ahead and pick out a character? We'll share with the group, and then we will start hoofing it towards the other crash.
No one minds if I take over Hope for this moment.
Do it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. All the characters are free game. So even if you didn't
Yeah,
make
bet.
them,
I'm gonna take Wallace. Can I leave Gromit, or do I
yeah,
have to
that's
bring
fine.
him with me?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Totally
I don't
fine.
think any of
Yes.
us want Gromit, honestly. But
You probably
He's the
do
best
need
fighter in the
Gromit
group.
to
He's the
stay
best fighter.
with somebody.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yes.
fuck.
Yeah.
He's actually a
I'm gonna
hunter.
I'm gonna get is who was helping him build?
I don't know
Pewter.
if we
Pewter.
assign.
Maybe-
Oh,
yeah.
And he's temporary blind, so he might not be blind anymore.
No,
Is he
it's probably
becoming?
better now.
Or he's at least
Or-
he's Han Solo
in
once
pit?
they've gone to the Sarlacc
Yeah,
pit, and he's
that.
just like,
Yep.
I can see shapes.
Yep.
Yeah, like I feel,
Okay.
especially if it was like some sort of liquid or something, like they
Mhm.
would be very slow to heal.
Pour
Yeah.
some milk on it. It's fine.
Cool. So yeah, so
If
pretty
only.
much Pewter is just going to be using Gromit as his eyes for like
Yeah.
as he makes makes more
Perfect.
bricks for the
Yes, a
houses.
seeing eye child.
Yes.
Yeah, seeing eye child. I mean Gromit. It works.
Nailed it.
I
Absolutely
think-
nailed it.
I think I'll do Stephanie because of the self-sacrificing flaw, but also she is the mechanic, so in case there's anything
Yeah.
that is
For the
needed
ship. Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
if doors are jammed
Mhm.
or there's like
Totally.
an issue with like
Absolutely.
electrical like keypad systems or something, I think she
Mhm.
might be able to do it. So I'll take Stephanie.
Okay.
I don't believe Rip would be in any condition to go anywhere with a punctured lung.
I was just gonna say Rip might just rip, honestly.
No, but really, she's lying there with like a metal, like a metal straw or something through to
Yeah.
like help the gases escape.
Oh.
And we've got to keep like she can't move around a lot or
She's-
overexert herself.
She's maybe the
Yeah.
reason why we need medical supplies so pressingly. Is like, yes, there's the people that got infected from the
Yeah.
silica, but also like Rip is stable,
Going
but
to die.
just
Yeah.
it's trending downwards.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quick question, Andrew. Kind of
Yeah.
setting wise, what is the level of technology here? Is
Yeah.
do we have
so
like
it's like a weird retro futurist situation. So think Alien, right? Like we
Yeah.
have really high tech stuff and really low tech stuff. So we get that little blend. It's like we have nanotech and VHS, right? Like
right?
why?
So like,
'Cause it's
is there
cool.
like a Bacta equivalent?
Yeah,
That's just
totally,
like a gel
yep.
you slap on a wound and it's like
Yep.
it's back, it's healed, you're
yeah,
good.
it's not like you're gonna regrow a limb. But there's definitely magic medicine bullshit. So
It's amped up. It's that amped up second skin. It's
Yeah.
second skin, but it
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
like makes skin after contact.
perfect. Yep. Yeah, and practically
Maybe we're looking for like one of those medical pod things that just like you press the button and it does operations, and that's what we need for the.
oh gosh,
The
like in
Autodoc.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
already have a
What is-
David, so
Yes.
What is Mayuri's invention where he just like pops a destroyed Kenpachi in this
Yes.
pod and it just fills with liquid and
Yep.
then drains liquid and suddenly you're back to 100%?
Basically, yeah, back to tank, but for souls.
Back to
And
tank, yeah.
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 Oh gosh, Jake.
I-
super tetanus.
did everybody has everybody picked somebody?
I have not picked
Yes.
somebody, but I was waiting to see what you did, Conlon, because I got a couple.
You go
that are-
ahead, Matt. I have a thought, but you go ahead and pick.
What's your thought? Because I don't want to step in on your thought.
So I guess yeah. Here's a question. Can I roll a really quick fodder character? Can I
Yeah,
play a
totally.
character that is intended to die in this mission?
Ooh,
Yeah, go for it.
Love it.
Ooh.
And maybe
Yep.
doesn't, but like
Yeah, maybe
maybe.
doesn't.
we gain
Yeah,
a
we
new
have-
person.
Another thing that I'm working on, it's not a locked-in rule right now, but there's a potential for the undefined characters actually having a number, and then that functioning as a resource.
Yes.
So like it could be like roll 3d8, and that's how many you get for
Mhm.
the whole campaign, unless something weird happens. Like that's it. There's extra people. There's only 16 of them or something like that.
I gave you a red
right
shirt
now it's
all
a
the way at the end of
nebulous
the...
like I think it's like a nebulous 20-ish is roughly the size of the camp.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a mechanic in like Kingdom Death Monster. That's
Yeah.
like you've got your group is just is the resource, and then you take them out on hunts.
this
I have
character
the
that I have
VGT
rolled,
of Kingdom Death and I still have to play it.
this character that I've rolled is the best character for what I want to do with them. Like
Yes.
the dice made this happen, and it is
I'm
perfect.
excited.
I'm not writing it down yet. You all have to
Okay.
find out what this character is.
Incredible. as we
Great.
go. So I want, this is my pitch, because I was thinking I'm really enjoying Margaret, but I think Margaret is like maybe getting that little bit of like a taste of like control, and is also like still recovering hands, doesn't feel like she would actually be like survivable out there as
Yeah.
well. And I think
Also, the silhouettes. I feel like the security
she's
side.
she's staying to protect camp and keep an eye on that. But I want to say that if they don't have like, I don't want to invoke a flashback right away when I've already done a flashback, but I want to say that like there's something between her and David that is this like look of recognition, like they know each other, but they're not
Yeah.
acknowledging that they know each other to anyone. And she
Yep.
is just like, if you find any firearms, make sure they get back to us. So I'm gonna pick
Definitely.
David, and he is out. Like I think he wants to like see and like be like, I'm the only sane one of you. I need to make sure that we're not losing our minds out. You don't come back with fairy tales. But he's also in it to like position himself as this little helper to power and get some guns.
He could be like the
Um,
man in the chair type thing.
I'm the man in the
Like
chair. Because I feel like
Matt?
he's corpo. Why would he
Go
not
ahead
do
and
this?
roll me a d4 plus 1.
Ooh. 4. That was 3
Oh
plus
wow,
1.
okay, that's great. We have 4 firearms right now.
Ooh.
Roll the d4 again.
4.
Well then, they're all
Wow.
rifles.
Shit!
Nice.
So apparently there was like one like locker full of rifles in the front of the ship, and that's all we've got right now. So we can probably one's gonna stay at camp.
Yes.
I would imagine, at least one, and then
I'd say
yeah,
split 2 and 2.
yeah,
Yes. but
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, you don't
Margaret
wanna lose
absolutely
all your
stashed them
guns.
on.
Yeah.
Margaret absolutely stashed them.
Yeah.
Okay, so who ends up with a rifle?
That'd be David.
Wallace.
Wallace would get one.
Wallace for sure makes sense. I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
the two.
I
I
could
think
see
that's the two.
I could see David not doing it to like push suspicion away. Like
Yeah.
I'm not too eager, but I'm also fine taking it. I can take it.
I don't think Stephanie would mind taking one, but as soon as they got to the ship, I think she would abandon it, so to speak, to David
Somebody
or,
else.
like,
Start
You
ripping
know
apart
what?
stuff.
I think that this would be a good time for like Stephanie to do a flashback where she like learned how to use a rifle somehow. Like I don't know. Like
Oh,
I was gonna say, like being a mechanic,
Oh.
she would have some sort of like.
what if what if her dad or a granddad or a grandma, her grandmother taught her how to use a rifle for some fucking reason?
Totally.
In
Oh my
Australia,
God.
I had no idea
Stephanie-
what guns are for. So like,
Yeah.
you tell me other than for killing people. So let me know.
Stephanie is Margaret's
Nope, not making that joke.
granddaughter. But Margaret like was KIA or like didn't
Yeah.
come back from a mission, and she's been gone that long that maybe Stephanie doesn't remember Margaret. So like real deep embedded childhood memories, like oh yeah, I remember like
Auntie
weird
Marge.
grandma.
stuff and like learning how to fire a rifle and stuff, and then oh grandma went missing, and suddenly I wasn't allowed to play and like take apart weapons and put them back together again. So that's how Margaret got into machinery and becoming a mechanic, because she was like, well, I can't rip apart a weapon,
That's
so
a
I'll
heavy.
rip apart and put back together other stuff.
yep.
Cool.
I like that a lot. Now, there's another thing to note. There's a couple ways we can do flashbacks. We can do it to the effect of what you just did, right? That's
Yeah,
like the
we just did
very
it.
minimized version of it. And then you can go all the way to like, let's improv this out, right? If it's just like, hey, I have like a very clear, simple moment, nothing crazy deep that I want to explore that requires a full improv, you can do that, right? You also can improv the whole thing and have no idea what's about to happen. So there's
I
a couple
think
ways
leave
to
it-
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
I did
improv stuff
it.
is really
Yeah.
cool. I think we just did it, and
That's
that
so
way,
cool.
if anyone
Yeah.
wants to add on to it later, they can throw it in and go, oh,
Totally.
in
Yep.
Stephanie's flashback.
Yeah. Log it up. I
Right.
like it.
Yeah.
All right. So do we have our stack of characters? Everybody pick one out.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right. I don't know who they are, but that's fine. We'll see how this goes. All right. So as you begin to head to the west in the direction of kind of like the darker landscape, seems like the edge of at least part of this desert. We're doing our first like traversal action. There's kind of like the map version of this game. Think like Final Fantasy or like, you know, or like if you've played For the King or something, like where you're moving on the hex crawl kind of stuff. You can run this as a hex crawl. There's rules for that. You could also run it as a point crawl, which is essentially a hex crawl, but it's more loosey-goosey and theater of the mind. So we're running it a little bit more on the latter. Basically, we are leaving this initial place that is our current camp, which is the crash site. And you can perform a number of actions to get through subsequent places. There is a traverse, which means we're going through it. There is scout, which is what's in adjacent zone or space and learning something about it. And then there is delve. Delve is basically, let's dive into this and maybe have an encounter.
Find a Balrog.
So right now we are doing more of the traversal mechanic of going through this biome, headed in the direction of another, which we will perform a delve action.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is where things get tricky. So the let me pull this up because I don't have this on your reference sheet.
Monster manual shit. No.
Right? That's the playtest. Where is the actual rules? The secret rules that they don't know.
The secret.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't have like traversing or anything in the.
No, I
reference that
didn't.
I've got.
I didn't include it in there. I was trying to keep
Secret
it not
packet.
insanely
Secret
complicated.
rules. Secret rules.
For the DM.
Right.
Secret rules.
All right. So in order
Yeah.
to perform one of these actions, somebody needs to essentially declare themselves as the person leading the action of traversal or the action of delving or something like that, and they have to spend a drive. So they are somebody that's going to be pushing effort towards that task, helping the party to do so, and then they spend a point. We have not set our stats for health and drive right now. So the way we do that, and it is kind of laid out on your sheet, you're going to roll 2d4, which gives you your health.
Oh, 2d4.
And then whatever the remainder is, then take 10 and minus whatever your health is, and that's what your drive is. So your health and drive added together will equal 10.
Is it always health first? I was reading is instead of you don't pick which one to assign the 2d4 to. Okay, cool.
I mean, you probably could. I don't know if it matters that much.
I don't know.
Sure, go for it. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Wallace is
I
a
mean, you could
weight
choose
the
to
man.
heavily weight it towards drive. That sounds terrifying to me, to be completely honest, to not have the ability to take any wounds, but that's why we have random numbers anyway.
That's why I wasn't sure is like how bad is it to, like if you have a bunch of drive, I picture you being able to like manipulate the dice
you could
more.
choose,
But if you have no HP, once you're done manipulating the dice, you're dead.
Yeah. Totally.
That's Wallace.
Yeah.
Wallace has got drive out the ear holes, but has 3 hit points.
Oh, God.
Boy.
Okay, so does
What
George.
did you roll?
A 3.
Okay, so
On 2d4? Okay, so Hope, I
2
rolled
and a 1.
2 3s. So Hope has 6 health points, and then for her drive, it's 10 minus HP being 6. So Hope has 4 drive.
Yep.
Stephanie has 5 drive and 5 HP.
5 and 5. Nice.
Not bad, not bad, not bad.
All right.
David has the inverse of I was originally thinking he was more drive than HP, like sort of a like just a desk job dude.
Yeah.
But I like the
He's
idea
done his
that
time
like
in the field.
he's done his time in the field, maybe, and also maybe he's just one of those dudes that like it's just the kind of like shitty, awful, and refuses to die kind of guy. Like he's just unfortunately lucky for everyone else.
God damn it.
So he has 7 health and 3 drive.
Awesome.
Jesus.
All right. So as we go and traverse, who's leading the traversal?
It'd be Hope, because her hobby is hiking.
All right. So mark one. You can go ahead and like make it a little fraction or something. But yeah, mark off 1 drive. That initial thing is your max essentially, and then it's like your number out of that for your current versus maximum. I said words. I hope they made sense.
We got it. We got it, boss.
Okay.
So now
Valid.
she's at 4 out of 5 drive. For
Yes.
Okay. So
Hope has 3 out of 4 now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 3 out
Gotcha.
of 4.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I've just put the max is next to the equation to get it, and then I've just put underneath it in stars is the current.
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay, so
That's
and
maybe
then
the
just
easiest for me to track.
read my own rules out loud to make sure I don't miss anything. Traversal action represents moving through a territory with that goal alone. No resources are recovered during traversal. Somebody has to declare themselves the leader, spend 1 drive. Choosing to traverse in a more careful fashion can be done so, such as with stealth, but requires each survivor to spend 1 drive. So basically, if you were trying to get through a zone super carefully, everybody has to chip in on the drive.
Ah, gotcha.
And let's double check. Okay, so as we all make through this horrible silica desert, I think that lots of scraps of like fabric have been fashioned into masks for most of y'all.
That
Most
guy's
of y'all.
back.
Yeah.
We've somehow created like visors out of glass.
Mhm.
Like
Oh.
We
Yeah.
use
Yeah,
the,
nice.
Just like a
um,
shard
It's
and
a
then just
shard.
like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
wrapped
so
with-
cool.
or you know how
Yeah,
in
badass.
airplanes it's the plastic that makes the windows and stuff. Maybe they had
Mhm.
something like that for the windows of the plane, and
They
you
might
can
have-
still see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Leftover
hella
like
very cool.
viewports.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already look like scavengers. Like
Yes.
it's great.
I
So
just need a
as you
staff to look
continue
like a-
through this bizarre waste, essentially, you can see that shadowy edge getting closer, and it actually turns out to be, strangely enough, a like mesa that is swooping up that is almost pitch black, like sulfur in the distance. This more mountainous region skirting this desert as you're getting closer and closer. And I would like somebody to roll me a d12, and then I need 3 d12. So how about Matt, Haley, and Taylor all roll me a d12? Okay, we got 5, 2, 10. All right, 5, 2. Okay. Interesting. So, so basically, what I'm rolling on is a discovery table. So this is landmarks. This is strange occurrences, and obviously, like on the high end, like if the first thing you roll is a 12, it puts you into this bracket. The second dice you roll, puts you into another bracket. It's like fractalized roller tables
Yeah.
that push us towards the weirder, the higher that you roll.
Nice.
For us, as we begin to enter into the edge of this, like kind of, as we leave the desert and enter into harder ground, this kind of blackish contrasted dirt with that white sand of the silica, we're just in this gray zone heading into it. And strangely enough, you begin to see just these small puddles of liquid about the darker bits of sand. It has some moisture to it, and it's not clear what the liquid is as you enter into this area. But you do see that it's kind of it's pretty hot over here, and some of these are kind of like misting, almost like they're heated up. As you're entering into this area, it's significantly warmer than just like the dry desert, and it's much more humid the closer you get to this mesa. Now what I want to know is, as we're getting closer and looking about the area, what is it that stands out to, let me roll to see who I'm talking to.
Who's the victim?
Yeah, who am I gonna?
Torture.
Yup. Okay, Matt, it is.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Matt, you are David
Chris?
right now?
I am David.
Okay.
It's your brand, Matt.
It's my brand. Torture me,
brand.
daddy.
So,
Okay, so as David is entering this area, I want to know what about this liquid is familiar to David.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
Actually, oh,
Taylor, you looked like you had an idea.
Does David know what it is? Like, I feel like David
okay.
does. So
Okay.
what is, like, what? Maybe it's familiar. Maybe it's literally something David knows. Like, I'm letting you go
Yeah.
as esoteric or defined as you want on that.
Let me see here. Sorry. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Beep boop beep.
Boop boop beep bop.
Beep boop beep bop bop bop. Taylor, you can just talk. Even though it's my turn, you can talk.
I'm wondering if I have the same idea as Taylor. Taylor, go.
Okay.
I was saying it. I was just suggesting it could be something that David has come across in the past, be the residue or the remnants of some sort of chemical weapon.
I think I'm gonna lean both corpo and like retro future, in that like, Jesus, Conlon in chat. I'm gonna lean retro and future corpo, where it's like, I think that one of David's jobs.
God damn. Yeah.
Got him.
You two are unhinged. Robert, no. His hobby is rock collecting. So I think that like, yes, he's corpo. I think he like leans business, but maybe he got like into it by originally being like mineralogist, geologist kind of thing. And that like, yes, we're in future tech era. Plastics are still important, and you make those off of good old fashioned like petrochemicals. Like this is tar. These are like tar pits that are just like bubbling and boiling from like being geothermally heated underneath. So I think he's immediately recognizing it in this like mix of, oh, I know this like geologically, I know how tar forms and how it comes up out of the ground. I also know that this means that like this could be a profitable place to be. There might be like natural resources here that could be like scavenged for things if we needed to make more like industrial kind of processes.
I feel like tying that geology stuff in is like maybe in a corporate fashion, he has experience in like surveying,
yes,
like different frontier worlds for profitability,
yeah,
and like resources and whatnot. That's
yes.
Yeah,
he is.
all right.
He is. I'm channeling my wife's day job. He is the guy that's like over like a mineralogy department, and it's like he gets these surveys back of like this planetoid has bop 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 bop, and he's the guy who's like does the number crunching and says, is it profitable to planet crack this, or do we move on?
All right. So as we're kind of stepping through this area where it's almost not like bog-like, but it's like frequent puddles, almost like it's the sloping, almost not like bubbly, but like reverse bubbly, like, you know, slopey kind of ground of this region, almost like a very large scale pumice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, volcanic
like
kind of style.
Lots of volcanic kind of weird cracks and swoopy shapes to it, and you get closer and closer to this mesa, walking through these little tar pits that are showing up, and at this time there is a massive rumble that just goes through the ground. Not just an ambient one, but very much sounding like movement. And as it rumbles, it kind of comes from behind y'all towards the desert, and then kind of oblong towards the mesa to the left. And this rumbling movement through the ground, you can see like as like all these little tar pits bubble. What do you guys do?
Is it coming towards us, or did you say it passed
It
by us?
moved underneath you. Yep.
Yeah.
It didn't like zip off into the distance necessarily, but it is under and around this area that it kind of rumbled, and then in this moment, what are you guys doing?
We glide across the silica sand.
I don't think we're in silica anymore.
No, we're in the
No,
like
you're kind of
transition.
getting closer to that pumacey.
Yeah.
So it's like grey.
Yeah.
Are there like big?
Run to the
So-
stone.
There are larger tar pits that are like, as you're going further into it, there are some that are like 10 feet wide. It started out initially as puddles, but it's getting much larger now.
Yeah.
Are there any
Yeah.
rock,
And are there-
formations?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some smaller stuff. It's mostly fairly flat right now. It's very windswept, but you can see some that are the result of like that more volcanic substance kind of like falling away, and they're very like cracked and brittle. It looks like.
Is it still rattling? Like, does it feel like it's coming for us, or is it just
This
like
is kind of in that moment of the rumble going on
Gotcha.
for y'all that I'm curious about what we're doing.
oh
Try and
man?
get
So if we're
higher
waiting to
ground.
find out, I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
A rock.
Nope, go to a rock.
Do we have a team? Oh, I guess a Hope is our team lead, right? Because she was
Yeah,
leading
is
the
our team
traverse.
lead.
She's leading the
Technically.
expedition. She's also the medical officer, so she's probably the last person you want to go down.
Get her to a rock.
And-
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sprint for high ground, something
Yep.
nice and solid that we can like climb on top of or something.
I guess we're gonna see how brittle these fucking rocks are.
Yeah.
Oops.
So we're just kind of gunning it towards the mesa and starting to climb what we can.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
Something a bit more solid than sand underneath
Yes.
our
Yeah.
feet.
If this thing is the Hayashalud or whatever that, it's not sand that can come up and just like
Legally distinct.
legally distinct.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Technically, we are in an encounter. So this is now us entering into the planning phase. So this is where you are choosing either to push forward or pull back. Again, that doesn't literally mean you're staying back or anything. This is just your kind of position towards the encounter itself. Are you leaning into something aggressively, or are you being more reserved, careful, defensive, strategic, that kind of stuff?
I think we're reserved.
Yeah, you can choose like -1 or -2 for your pullback, whereas push forward can go all the way up to 5. So there is significant like effects that you can get from pushing significantly forward, but you're also cranking that DC up for everybody, keeping in mind that we're all rolling 2d6. And I also will be contributing a modifier, which is going to be 4. So that's our floor where we're starting right now. So if you guys all didn't do anything,
It's
you're
difficulty
rolling up
4.
to 4. Yep.
I would like to do a oh god, I just had it. I would like to do a -2 modifier pullback.
Yeah.
And I would like to use my parent energy to protect the medical officer.
Ooh. Yeah,
Ooh.
very cool. Okay. Yep.
If that's a thing I can do.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. We're
I
gonna
don't know
kind
how
of,
it works.
We're
I'm
gonna
just trying
log
to
it.
like looking
Yep,
at shit like,
perfect.
yeah, this will work.
So this is kind of where we're all presenting ideas of what we are doing. This is the ethos of Entwine, the system underneath this. We're working together, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
you can do a solo-y action, but it's gonna affect everybody. And
Yeah.
so that's why the math matters here. So you going to defend somebody, that's gonna be that -2. But that said, like if you are successful at your task, like you are going to be rolling on their behalf in terms of any defense tests. So if something comes at them or they need to roll, you get to do so instead,
Cool.
good or bad. And that's where having a lot of drive is really helpful.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a -2 declared. Anybody else want to throw their action out there or their idea for what we should do? Because we could all just run and, like that's it and see what happens. But that's going to probably be at least a push forward 1 for everybody else.
I'm gonna say, I want to. Haley gave us a great -2 to start with, so I'm gonna be a little bit bold and do a +3,
Okay.
and say that David is like aggressively we've decided to run is now locked in on what's the sturdiest rock, like rock collecting.
Okay.
Like trying to find
Yeah.
like which bit of this, like no, that's gonna be like fragile obsidian, that's not gonna do it. That one looks,
You're routing. You're
I'm-
MapQuest.
Yeah, I am MapQuest. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
leading the charge.
What's MapQuest?
What's
Don't worry, it's in the
MapQuest?
future.
Yeah. Let me put my MapQuest like CD chunk.
There you go. Yeah.
You sure you
Okay,
don't want
so
to
we're
use
at
Tom
5
Tom?
right now. So we were at 4, we went -2, and then we went up 3. So we're at 5.
Are we- and do these get added together? Like we all roll,
Mhm.
and then it adds
So
together. and we
we're
have to
setting a DC for all of us,
beat- Okay.
right? So right now we're at 5, and so in you all choosing your remaining actions, keep that in mind if you're bumping it up or down, and how that's going to affect all of us rolling to resolve the action because we haven't
and-
started that action yet.
And what do we roll?
You're
Like
going to
what
roll
dice?
2d6.
2d6.
And
Okay.
then when you roll, you're declaring affinity. So that's where you're looking at tags. And if you can justify 2 tags, that means you get to roll 2d6, add them together. If you can't find 2 tags, it gets worse from there.
And
Okay.
because I picked +3 for the modifier to bring it back up to a 5, I get a +1 on damage. So if I roll well, then I could make a lot of progress by doing that.
Yeah. And it's damage or like clock damage,
progress,
right? In
yeah.
that idea. So in this case, we need to get up that cliff face, and thanks for calling that out. It's going to be a clock of 4. So we need 4 individual successes to get us up that cliff face onto the mesa.
Okay.
So each of us right now needs to beat a 5 with,
With
2d6.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like
if-
4 of us.
Yeah.
All but one of us needs to
Yeah.
beat it.
Yep, and again, keeping in mind, this is where sometimes people get scared of that number because they're like, we got to beat it. As long as you're not 5 under, so
Mhm.
0, you're gonna succeed. It's just at consequences, and there's
Yes.
minor and major consequences. So we can crank that bitch up there, right? Like it can be 12, and you're still gonna roll okay when you roll a
We're
7.
just-
You know?
We're just getting skinned knees
Just
and
gonna get
losing
hit,
shit
yeah.
the whole way. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I have an idea for Stephanie, which plays into the self-sacrificing flaw.
Ooh.
But I'm thinking this is more of a pullback. So she'll still run for Rock, but she's gonna separate herself from the rest of the groups to kind of thinking that if it's like, some
If it's
creepy
hunting
crawly-
someone, yeah.
some sand dune creature thing that's kind of hiding under all the rock. That way it's like kind of veering off. So it's like, ooh, what's that? And it'll go that way instead of going towards like the massive group.
Mhm. So diversion essentially is
Yeah.
your goal. Yep.
Yeah.
And
you gonna do -2 on that?
what would you do on that?
So it looks like
It would-
-1 you don't have to test. -2 you have to test, but it can give a temporary drive to someone.
I think I
And
will
then
do
wouldn't that bring the thing down to like we just need to beat
3.
2d6 RDC 3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Yes.
So I
So you
think
can
I will
bring it
do-
way down.
Yeah.
I will be clear. We're not like all gonna frickin' die right now. This is tutorial.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
then she
You
will do
underestimate
a
our bad luck.
-2, and then do you get it? Just as a clarification, Andrew, when
Mhm.
it says success for the test and it says to grant 1
That is
temporary
talking
drive,
about so that's talking about actually beating it, not necessarily
Right.
the pass fail part of it. Yeah.
right? So do you get to choose which survivor that goes to,
Mhm.
or is that
Yep.
more at the DM's discretion? Okay.
No, that's up to you.
Okay. All right. Yes, I'll do -2.
All right, sounds good. So I think we still have 2 of you got to declare. We're at 5,
Mhm.
and then we went back down to 3.
So Conlon and Taylor. So, unnamed red shirt and Hope. George.
Yeah.
George.
I reckon. Oh, you
Go
go.
ahead, Taylor. No, you.
Okay. Hope would pull back, given that Wallace is doing the defender. She'll follow
Mhm.
Wallace's lead. So just a negative what? I reckon a -1.
Okay. Yeah,
She's just following someone. I don't think
Yeah.
that warrants a 2 necessarily.
that's fine. Yeah, definitely. So you're just being reserved, still gathering information because you guys don't know what it is. You're just trying to get out of it. Okay. So
Yeah, so
that
she would
is-
follow like use movement. I know it's not an action, but she would follow
Yeah.
Wallace.
Yeah. Okay. Conlon?
So we're at 2 right now.
Yep.
Okay, I have a question. Kind of, I guess, gameplay question. Is it just us here, or do we have, like, Can we say that there's other people, or
it's just the declared embodied characters?
Okay.
Yep.
I was thinking about doing something, but I didn't want to do it to a player character.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I like fun stuff. Sure, there's another body here. Sure.
Okay. I mean, if not, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, and then
Yeah,
if
what
you
do you
want to make
wanna
it that I have
do?
to do this to somebody that is here, I haven't thought on that. So
I don't want to not know this.
Yeah.
So yes, there's somebody here.
So I think George, in the sort of full-on sprint to the place, just pulls a little. You don't have to be faster than the dragon. You just have to be faster than the slowest party member, and just gives a little trip to somebody, and waits for a kind of opportune time where they're going to be in like a not great place to get back up, maybe like near one of the tar pits or like near something like that. So they're like, they have to be a little careful.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just gonna, stick a foot out. And I'm assuming that this is a like push modifier.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think-
real. I'm gonna be
Go
real
for it.
aggressive. I would like to do a +5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we're up to 7. And now we're gonna start resolving this stuff. So let's start there, because that's dramatic. I like that. Let's see how this goes. So we're at 7. You're gonna roll 2d6. This is where you get to declare affinity. All right. So look at the tags on your sheet. What's a tag? Pretty much everything on your sheet. And you're gonna say, I've got 1 affinity or 2 affinity, and that's going to tell us how to interpret the dice. So, and you can tell us which things you want for it, like what you're declaring.
Yeah.
And again, what your intent is, right? Like if you want to progress
Yeah.
the climbing clock, or maybe just keep out of danger and ensure that we're good, or what?
Yeah, I think George is mostly at this point just doing a saving himself kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're gonna use. I think I have 1 affinity, which is the con
Yeah, so it's going to be
artist
take the highest. Yeah.
Con
background
artist.
that I
I love
rolled
it.
for George. Cool. So yeah, he is just trying to get us to the rock. I don't know if that progresses the clock or not, but like he's just trying to get himself
Yeah.
closer. And this guy just happened to be close.
Right. I mean, I think that it's definitely gonna help you. It's a matter of how selfish it'll be. But yeah, let's see how that goes. So you're gonna roll your 2d6, and you're gonna take the highest of the 2, and that is your final roll.
Well, I rolled 2 6s.
Oh,
Which is
okay. So
an
that is a
insane roll.
critical. That is a critical. So yeah, in this case, you absolutely get what you want, and you would get a drive back if you
Amazing.
didn't already have. I don't think you have any loss.
I'm full. Yeah.
So yeah, in this case, that's a floating dry that would have gone to you, but it goes nowhere.
Amazing.
So I will say, what do you really want to happen here? Because like I'm giving that nat 20 narrative freedom.
Sure. So yeah, I think what like as we're running, in just a very casual, oh, I tripped this guy,
Oopsie.
falls down, sort of. If we're being chased, I guess that's kind of the question here. Is if this thing is coming after us.
So I'll answer that.
Uh-huh.
This is a natural occurrence that is happening right now. This is not a animalistic threat.
Okay.
Ooh,
So-
interesting.
Something is
Oh.
happening with you being here, and it is dangerous.
Okay.
Oh.
So I think the trip goes really well. I think no one's even really 100% sure what happened.
Oh, you get away with it. Like that's
yeah.
for sure. Like nobody will know that you tripped Boris.
Yeah, and I think when we get I'll resolve potentially maybe like what happens with this all
Yeah.
the next round or whatever.
Yep,
but I
yep,
think
yep.
just for now, Boris is
Yeah, you see
like,
Boris
on the
going,
ground
"Whoa!"
and struggling and
Puts in a tar pit.
Remind me to come back to I have an idea for like Boris's untimely end facilitating, but I want to save the idea for if another person has
Sure.
to have it.
Yeah, so I guess to give you my my brain space here is
Yeah.
if we get to the edge of this and we all realize like, oh, like nothing ate Boris. Like Boris
Mhm.
is okay. I think George is gonna be like, oh no, Boris, you fell down. Let me come help you. And he's gonna be like,
Yeah,
magnanimous
play
in that
it.
moment.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
if we don't do that, if something bad
Yeah.
happens to Boris, something bad happens to Boris,
Totally. Yeah, so Boris kind of falls, his foot like drops into this crack a little bit as he falls, this like very pumice like cracked mace or whatever. Like this trip leads to kind of falling into a bit of this crack where like half of his body is off the edge here, and you now begin to see the ground itself is somewhat swelling like a large bubble covered in cracks. So Earth's about to burp. You now see this happening, and who would like to resolve their action next?
I'm tempted a little bit, not knowing it's not a creature,
Sure.
so to speak. I'm tempted for Stephanie to go run over and try and save him back to the self-sacrifice.
Yeah, that totally
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, you're still
Yeah.
doing your same positioning. I appreciate that, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the other thing I changed from Battle School to this, which is like because you're choosing a positioning as opposed to like this super defined action, as long as it still fits in the vibe, you can just
Yeah.
pivot based on narrative occurrence.
Yeah,
So
because
yes, totally.
I figured she starts running off. She hears, "Oh my God, help!" from Boris, and then looks over and sees that he's there, and it's like, "Ah, fuck."
Yeah.
So she runs over. Because I personally think to play in the mechanic aspect, and I only say that because it's not necessarily her like talents with it, but when you're I'm also am a little biased because I just watched Silo's new season, so sorry, a little bit biased. But like when you have a situation like that, all mechanics need to work together, and it's something
Mhm.
imperative where you need to team up, and you don't like this person, but you need them. So I feel like that's the same mindset too, for her to do that.
And if that's not good enough, something I just thought of, we've been describing the tar as like boiling and stuff.
Yeah.
Stephanie's been burned. She does not want a repeat of that. She's hauling ass.
Mm-hmm. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that's 2 affinity.
Yeah.
beyond?
If you got two tags to justify on it.
Self-sacrificing.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
either mechanic or burned.
Yeah. Totally. Yep. So that means you're rolling 2d6, you're adding them together.
Yay. Woo. And then
Yes.
what's the DC we have to be
7.
again?
7.
This is me we're talking about, so we'll see. if
You
this
get to
goes.
add
You'll
them
do
though.
it.
You get to add them, which is really good.
Yeah. You do get
I
to
know
add.
that, Matt, but you know me, and I don't do
That's
well
fair.
for that.
That's fair.
So you get to add the
7.
two.
You gave me loaded dice.
Yes. So when you have 2 affinity,
oh.
you get to add them together. When you have 1 affinity, you roll both, take the highest. When you have 0 affinity, you roll 2d6, take the lowest.
And the affinity
You
can be
never
background,
rolled-
your flaw, your
Any
hacking,
tag,
your
yeah.
injuries,
Yes.
anything. Okay, they're
Just
just
as long as it
anything
makes
with
sense.
character.
It may be a negative tag when you're writing it down, but it doesn't mean it'll always be negative.
Yeah.
a negative. Yeah, cool.
Negative motivators.
Yeah.
That's a 6.
Okay, so you succeed at a minor consequence. So in this
Burning
case,
again! Yay!
so in this case, you're getting some hot tar on you as you go to pull Boris out of this crevasse. You know, there's just this that like splashes up onto your arm,
Yeah.
scorching you. You're gonna take a point of damage there.
Okay.
So minors typically are only ever gonna be 1 point of damage. Majors are gonna be 2,
Okay.
and then if it's like an attack, it may change from that. But those are like the floors for minor versus major. So
Okay.
you're gonna take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
You are going to succeed though, as you yoink him up and out, and he's like,
Oh, thank you so much. I saw my whole life flash before my eyes.
It was really boring.
It was terrible. I can't die here.
I can't die.
And so you pull him up and out, and you begin your climb near the mesa. Who wants to resolve next?
I can. If it's starting to look like it's natural phenomena, not some like big megafauna.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna lean into like David's stubbornly skeptical because it's like I knew it wasn't some
I knew
fucking
it
like
wasn't a
weird
freaking
desert worm. It's
Shai-Hulud.
like just panicking over nothing. It's just like now it's like everything's fitting into the geology. So rock collecting for finding a good rock, and then stubbornly skeptical. This is not the
Love
Shia
it.
Hulud you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna spend a drive because I rolled a 3 on 2 dice. And so I'm gonna go down to 2 out of 3. And that's as simple as that. I just spend the drive and
Spend the
reroll.
drive,
Okay.
re-roll the dice.
There we go. That's a 10.
All right, great. So yeah, you are able to advance that climbing clock, and we needed. Where is it? Did I write it down?
We needed a 7. I did the +3, so I had a +1 damage.
Yeah.
And then I succeeded by 3 to 4 over the DR.
There we go.
So I have
Yep.
plus another damage. So I've
Yep.
done 3 total. 1 for success,
Yep.
and then
And I
plus 1.
said 4 for the clock, so
Yes.
we're in a good spot. All right.
Nice.
So, yeah, who still has to go? I think Taylor. Did you go yet? No, you didn't have to roll. You
Taylor,
did a -1. Correct.
Yeah,
Yep. So you were following, running, staying out of the way.
I was following
Um,
David.
Yeah, feel
Wallace,
free
I
to
was
throw
following
any
Wallace.
narrative on there. You can still get a turn, right? Like, because you are actually moving and narrating what you're
okay.
doing, but you don't have to roll.
No, that's okay. So yeah, narratively, probably keeping pace with Wallace and like using Hobby as hiking. You know, she's probably been to some pretty steep slopes and not necessarily as perilous
Yeah.
conditions as this, but she would be able to recognize that that particular cracked bit of sand
Mm-hmm.
looks solid enough to hold you. Like, step on this, avoid
Yeah.
that, don't go here. Like, just sort of trying to
Like direct and help and climb.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that while that's happening, you just see Boris be like, "Thank you, yes," as he just like climbs up past you.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear that I almost died? And as you guys begin to make your way up the cliff face, I think that's Haley.
Uh,
Okay,
Haley.
so yeah. So I think that Wallace is like he's at the back, but obviously just before the Boris and the saving like thing. I think they've just run ahead, and I
Yeah.
feel like I'm walking like half backwards, just like surveying, taking my time. I'm like a little bit further, like I'm going slower. I'm following the same footprints and the same like
Yeah.
directions going up, but like I'm really just like making sure that like my gun, and then we're realizing I think like there's comments being made about it just being the earth. So I'm like, all right, I do want to kind of get out of the way a little bit, but I feel like maybe I want to survey it. Like I want to be there to witness what is going to happen.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that maybe my meditation is helping me
Ooh.
stay calm in this moment.
I
maybe.
think so.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
definitely. Like keeping. I mean, it's the first very perilous action of going out into this wilderness. So I think that makes sense. Yeah, very
Yeah.
meditative.
So would you
in this
say that I
moment.
have the 2 affinity, 1 for the
Yeah.
parent protection
I'd
mode?
say if
2
you had
for
done
the
like
calmness?
a push forward, I don't think like meditation would play very well in a push forward situation. But because your positioning and the situation, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yay. Beautiful. Where? Okay, I have 2d6.
Pretty much, I'll always say yes if it makes any sense.
Any amount of sense.
I got a 7 exactly, so I'm like,
Great.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm on the edge
You're-
of
you're
like
in.
whatever's about to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I could be over there, but I'm on the line. Yep. All right. So as you all are beginning to climb up this face and get out of the way, Boris is now up and out, and we've got some tar on some of us, but so far nothing horrible has happened. And you can see the earth as it begins to swell, and then this massive burp as rock and like this pumice begins to pelt the side of the cliff face of the mesa, and then the hot ooey gooey tar goes all over the place. I need everybody to make a defense test. This is against a
Ooh.
7, so this is to not get tarred and pumiced.
I don't want to
And
get
this is
tired again.
2d4.
So this is going to be your d6s again,
Okay.
Oh,
and you are rolling a
sorry.
defense test. So again, you can declare affinity for this defense test if it makes any sense. Otherwise, you're rolling with no affinity, which is roll 2d6, take the lowest. And this is, let me clarify too. Defense tests are pass fail. So this is
Yeah.
not the -5.
The -5.
Okay.
Okay. So we want to hit 7 somehow.
You want to get 7 on
Okay.
defense.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, I was gonna say. No, hiking wouldn't really go into like rock climbing for like evasive jumping maneuvers type thing. Like,
Somebody was defending somebody really quick.
I'm
well,
I'm defending you, so like I'm.
So you don't have to roll. Haley,
Oh,
you roll twice.
I'm rolling for you. Yeah.
oh, okay. Okay.
I will. Can I go for rock collecting? Like I picked like knowing it was gonna be this earth pimple popping and
You're like, I saw
and
this coming.
I saw this coming, so I picked a rock that I wasn't cared about scaling. I just wanted like a shield wall
Yeah.
on the right side of me.
Yeah. Totally.
So rock collecting, and then I do not want to get. I also just noticed that I have a heat-based injury, heat stroke. I don't want hot
Oh.
stuff. No.
There
So,
you go. Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll
Alright.
piss poor, but
Throw it.
Did we got temporary drive from our 2 -2 people, didn't we?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
So we've got a bank of 2 temporary drive.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Mhm.
Those should be, just for reference, those should be divvied out when we're choosing actions. I have
Cool.
not told anybody that, but that's fine. Yeah, take one of those.
Because I rolled.
We'll
4.
keep them floating right now. That's fine.
Unless someone else, I can take a hit. I've got tons of HP. If someone else cocks up the roll, I can. That's a 7 exactly.
There you go. All right, so you just kind of slip behind this piece of rock. This is okay. It's Riddick. In
Yes.
the sun
Yeah.
scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like yeah. Perfect. Except for it's ooey gooey.
It's ooey gooey
Um,
instead of just laser blast.
Laser sun. Yep.
All right.
Oh man.
I'm thinking for Stephanie. She got burned once. Shame on her. She saved Boris, got burned twice, and she's like, "Oh fuck no!"
Not
So I
again.
think those are the 2 affinities: the saving Boris interaction, and then her being burned. Maybe.
So it's saving Boris, though interesting, and I understand where you're coming from, isn't a tag on your sheet. So
Okay.
like an event would be like some big moment that happens in your life that
Okay.
we would log. Like that, like things that happen on the planet are essentially the flashback equivalent of events that happen in the current time that we
Okay.
can log. I would say saving Boris is not one of those. So I definitely can give you 1 affinity on that.
Fuck Boris, you're useless. No. It's, yeah,
I know.
because I'm just thinking.
I was in a liminal space of non-existence and now I exist.
You're the problem. No.
Ah.
I'm thinking then. I'm just trying to think.
I'm Schrodinger's red shirt. I don't like suddenly being alive.
It sucks, doesn't it? I'm wondering.
Could you do Grandma's rifle for like a little bit of combat experience?
I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking along those lines, but I'm actually thinking more of the childhood farm. And I only say that because farms have pretty dangerous equipment and stuff. Not gonna lie, there's always the chance of like, oh, I stepped on a rake. Ow, it went through my foot. Or, oh, it was. Like, farm equipment is no joke. Like, you've seen, like, what is it, the show 911 or whatever, where you
God.
see somebody who gets, like, embedded into those corn, like,
Yeah,
machines.
the corn
that-
silo, the
Yeah.
wheat silos, and they just drown.
No, thank you.
No. It's the ones that actually pull the corn from the
The
ground.
huskers?
And it's the huskers, yeah. So you see horror films like that. No, that's just me. Okay. So that's the only other thing I could possibly think of for an affinity as another
Yeah,
potential.
I'm into
one.
it. I'm into
Yay!
it. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, you did the work.
I
Show
made
your
my
work.
present.
Show your work.
I'm a good student, I promise. All right, let's see. Yeet. Can I use a drive, please?
our last
The other
temporary drive.
floating drive.
Yeah.
Go
Yes,
for
please. Okay, because that was a natural failure. That was 2 1s
Oh
on
no.
the dice. So I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Oh, thank fuck. All right, that's a 9.
Awesome. Yep. So you were able to get out of the way of it. It just splashes on the wall right next to you,
Yeah.
and like you see it. And you know, I'll roll for Boris.
Poor Boris.
Boris
Bye,
does
buddy.
not have any affinity.
Bye, buddy.
No.
He was just an extra pair of hands to bring stuff back.
Yeah.
The splat next to you is covering Boris, and you just hear him scream as he falls back right into the new open wound of explosive tar as he just kind of head over heels, flips back, and lands flat on the top, and just hear him, the muffled scream pops out of a bubble as he goes underneath the tar.
I can imagine George. being,
R.I.P..
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Boris. Oh no. The horror of it
George
all.
is putting on George's leg.
Boris! Boris, no!
Boris, I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna help you.
I am going to flashback to Boris with this character.
Yes!
Something
Yes!
is going to happen here.
Yes!
Absolutely. Oh man. Okay, so as that resolves, we would go back to the top of planning. We had one left on the climbing. I'm gonna hand wave it because we had a lot happen and it was good, and the explosion has occurred. So there isn't
I didn't
another
need to worry
one
about
coming
rolling
for
to
a
protect. I didn't need to roll protecting myself.
while. You did a
or-
-2. You should have rolled on that. Throw me a roll real quick to see if you took some damage.
Okay, because we'll say that I wanted to use
I
my
forgot
parent
about
thing,
that. Yep.
and then I'm used to avoiding things being thrown at me due to my kids' uncontrollable anger.
That's incredible, and I love it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So I'm on it. Yeah, I got a 6, 7, 8.
Amazing. That is such a good tag to invoke. I'm used to
Oh my
dodging
gosh.
Hot Wheels.
If you can
At
dodge a
speed.
wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Amazing.
So, we'll fast forward at least, like 30-ish seconds,
Mm-hmm.
to as you all cusp the top of this mesa and you look out and you see what looks to be a large amount of foliage of some kind. And this time I'm going to go to Haley. And for Wallace, what about these trees is familiar?
Oh my god, this is the most I literally, when you were talking about the tar pits earlier, I literally went, I hope there's trees because I have the best idea in the entire world. So Wallace, he is into like alternate medicine and exotic bits and pieces, so he is constantly ordering exotic fruits, plants, all these bits and pieces to like make different tonics and stuff, and he recognizes the plant straight away to like be like a fruit bearing plant that is like edible.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that they look very hostile, and yet like, because again, like this mesa was very black in the distance. These trees look dead, but when you get closer to them, as you begin to walk towards this forest where we see that little plume coming inside of the forest from the wreckage, you begin to confirm your suspicion. And these are fruit-bearing trees. And you go up. Do you want to like pick some of this fruit? What is the fruit like?
I reckon it's like got a really tough exterior, kind of like coconut, but like more blackened on the outside because it's always dealing like it's the fumes
Like
hitting it.
volcanic and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's gonna take like a little bit of effort to like get into it, but once you do,
Is it like a durian fruit inside, or is it like
it's kind of, it doesn't smell bad though. I feel like it's like real sweet. But maybe like a little bit bitter. So it's like kind of the opposite. So like it's edible, but it's not gonna be delicious.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
herbal medicine. So like, it's not.
Yeah, do you like inform everybody like I've found food?
I do. And I like grab a bunch and chuck them in my backpack bag. I would have said I have a backpack.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys stow a little bit of this. If we were already in the camp cycle, we would probably be able to award a point or two of a resource right now that you are now assigned as carrying. So right now you are carrying a resource of 1 food. That'll mean something later.
Nice.
But that is actually significant. So 1 is not necessarily like a small amount of food. Because that whatever. Other rules later. Sorry.
That's
so
that's a
as
tool
we
we'll need for later.
gather up some of these fruit. What are we calling them? What are they?
Ooh.
Yellow fruits.
Oh no. What'd you say?
Boris
It's
is
yellow
fruit.
fruits.
Oh.
And they're not even yellow.
No.
Very strange.
Fruit of Boris.
Boris berries.
Boris.
Yeah. They're Boris berries.
Whatever they were
That's
called doesn't
great.
matter.
Aren't
They're
they
Boris berries
big?
now, baby.
Yeah, they're huge.
You have giant
Yeah.
berries.
Okay.
Boris was a big guy, okay?
Boris
Tip-
had his massive berries.
Yeah. If you've got a big twig, you'll have big
Yeah,
berries.
George would know.
A lot can happen in a week, okay? Oh my god.
Maybe
My
the
cheeks
silica
hurt,
did it. We
guys.
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the
All
silica
right.
helped.
Are you glad you're here?
Oh, this is great. So as we gather up these fruit and begin to enter into this kind of dark forest, that the leaves on it are also similarly like this like maroon blackish kind of leaves that hang overhead, and the actual shape of the leaves themselves is weird and unsettling. The way that it hangs, it has a very like droopy, almost willow like nature to it. And I think Taylor, what's your Hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Hope, looking at these trees as we begin to walk underneath them, you see like what do you see in the trees that like is unsettling and like really worrisome to you? Not necessarily like an active threat, but like more in a memory kind of way.
Ooh. I had an idea for like present time why it felt so unsettling, but
Yeah. I mean, it could be very present. It doesn't necessarily need to be horrible backstory, but it's something that's like triggering that in you.
okay. During her, like when she first started out hiking, got overconfident and took a trail that was well above her experience. She didn't have the equipment or the gear to handle that situation and just found herself lost in a very unfamiliar part of a mountainside, and just that sense of unfamiliarity, not knowing these trees, being on a new planet and everything. It's just maybe like starting to get a little bit of PTSD that she didn't know she had.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So and then she's pushing out front, correct? Like
Yeah,
she would
I
be
think-
leading pretty strongly right now, yeah?
Into it, yeah. So she's sort of
Yeah.
like trying to go, that was in the
Yeah.
past, this is fine, you've got more experience,
Kind
like,
of slowing
trying
down
to-
a little bit. And
When
Yeah.
you're in the front
Yeah.
as well, you've got no one around. Like no one's within your
Yeah.
peripheries if you're leading the group. So you would just immediately be like, this is like straight back to walking through the forest on my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
and that would be why she's slowed
Yeah.
right
Slowing
down. This is why she's
Yeah.
slowed.
Is
Sloan?
Sloan
Yeah,
a word?
wait,
I think it is.
I don't know. It's
Sounds
just
right.
an Aussie. It's just
Slowed?
an Aussie drop. She slowed it down. I think it's just
Yeah.
an Aussie drop of the.
Yeah.
We don't need those D's.
So
Yeah.
as Hope kind of slows up and the group is kind of catching up and bunching up a little bit, kind of just scanning the area, everybody begins to hear this droning. Not the rumbling of the tar pits or anything, but just like as you step forward, it's just this, and it's just like a hum, but like pulsing in and out to the point where it almost sounds like somebody talking in the other room. You know, like that sound of like pattering hums as if heard through a barrier. And we're gonna roll. Let's see. Melissa, you are embodying
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Yep. You distinctly hear something. like actual words. What do you hear?
Uh-oh. I'm kind of thinking it's not in a language that I know.
Ooh. But you
And
recognize it as speech.
I think I recognize it as speech, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the voice, like, despite the fact if it's like a language you don't understand or don't like comprehend, there's like emphasis on certain syllables and stuff, and then
Syllables.
4 syllables. And then, you know, there's like some dialects, I sadly don't know the name of any of them, in like I think it's like Kenya where it's predominantly spoken, but it's the one with clicks in
Mm-hmm.
the sound. Yeah. And I think there's like hints of that. It's like nothing that I don't think is like humanly possible.
Right.
Also, almost
And-
like insectoid clicks, like those
Yeah.
weird, like the rubbing of legs together. Yeah, here it
Mhm.
comes.
Yeah, so as you hear that, you in the distance, in the direction y'all are going,
Yeah, that.
you see one of the silhouettes from the
Yep.
hill.
Yep, there it is.
And you like check and then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else seemed to have heard, as far as you can tell. Nobody else is reacting, but you probably are stricken with some degree of fear, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with that fear, it's probably me second guessing myself too. Of like, no, it's like it's the burn. It's the fact I got burned. Like it's
Yeah.
not real. This is all. They're back at camp. Unfortunately, they're back at camp, but they're back at camp. So
Yeah.
they're not here. They can't be here.
Yeah, as you're kind of like taking stock of reality, right? It kind of feels like that's what you're doing. You kind of like pat yourself down, and then as you're kind of looking down, you see where you're standing, and as if drawn by like a finger in the dirt, there are these concentric circles overlapping, all central around where you're standing right now. And if you're familiar with it, it's just a bunch of circles, but it is what's known as the flower of life, which are these concentric circles that all kind of array into like a hexagonal pattern. And you're standing dead center on like the floral point in the middle.
Oh, that's not disturbing at all. Okay. I think she immediately wants to get out of the center of that. Just like jump. Just simply just to separate
Yep.
herself from the center, because like the focal point of where she stood is just gonna freak her out more. Like the coincidence of, okay, cool. I just saw whatever it is we've been seeing around camp. I'm now suddenly in the middle of this goddamn signs mimic bullshit. I'm done. So just runs off.
Yep, definitely. And I think that we begin to zoom out after this moment as you all begin to go down this hill, and we can see almost like a little bit of a valley that opens up where the wreckage is smoking in the distance, and we can hear the thrum, and kind of stepping into frame as the group goes down the hill are these silhouettes, and they're just black, but one turns around and we see 3 glowing eyes on the silhouette as we cut to credits, baby.
Too bad it's the pilot and it was on Fox. It's all gonna get canceled.
No.
No.
I
It'll
didn't
get
even do
moved
the
to
title.
Netflix for
It'll
season 2
It'll get
and
moved to
then
Netflix.
canceled.
Yes, it'll get moved to Netflix. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's better. That's much better. That's actually what's
Thank you guys.
Well,
This is just session 1. We got 2 more of these
so
things.
good.
Yay!
Oh,
You're stuck
so
with
good.
us for 2
Yes.
more weeks, Andrew. Are you
Oh
happy?
boy.
That was
Oh, man.
amazing.
That
Ah,
were incredible.
you were
That
incredible.
was awesome.
You crushed it,
So
Andrew.
So
good.
excited.
Thanks
much
for
fun.
playing with us, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you all for being willing to get thrown into the world of constantly being prompted with questions and weirdness.
This is just a
That's
Tuesday.
So
beautiful.
good.
Yeah. That was super, super fun. It's Wednesday.
Boris
When
lived.
am I
He's the
due?
big bad now. Oh God.
Oh, just wait. I
Wait.
have a flashback. It will. This character that I was like, can I make a fodder character? And then immediately went, can I make a different fodder character?
You immediately fell in love with George and went, I don't want to
Okay.
kill George.
I feel like I can share. Well, I rolled for George, con artist, well-traveled, secret addiction, and concussion. So he's that character in Lost and like those style of shows that is just like an absolute shithead.
Yes.
But like
Yeah.
everybody kind of likes him for
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
reason. But like in the background, you know, he's like doing some real shitty stuff. Like he's like addicted to some fucking like
Yes.
chemical thing from the ship or something. And yeah, he's, you know,
sniffing the tar.
Boris.
That's,
Yeah.
You know what? That's why he came on the trip. Like, he literally weaseled
Yeah.
himself into like the main characters and was
Yeah.
just like, I'm coming. Like, I need to go. Like, because
You're going to Medbay?
I'm out of whatever I need. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because like when I started making him, I was like, yeah, that'll be like I kind of want somebody that I can just like throw under the bus,
Yeah.
like for this mission, that'd be fun. But then I rolled
now
that,
you
and I was
can't
like,
throw
well,
him
fuck, it
under
makes
the
so
bus.
much
Now
sense
I
that he would
need
be
a
on the
new-
ship.
George feels the same way. He's like, I just need somebody to throw under the bus.
Yeah, always.
You made someone
Oh, man.
that would do the throwing under the bus.
Yeah,
Amazing.
accidentally.
Now I'm just looking at Egyptian Joel said Boris lived. He's the big bad. Now, what if
Yes.
Boris actually turned into one of the silhouettes?
one of the
People
silhouettes
who die
now.
here become the silhouettes.
Ooh. Boris out for
Attack.
revenge.
The Tor does something else. Ooh.
Spoopy.
But too early now.
Too early now. We don't- that's a post-writer's strike arc.
That's too soon somehow.
Too soon. we
Man,
gotta
come
delay that one.
Both too
on.
soon and so late.
Right?
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Andrew for being amazing.
Thank you,
and
Andrew.
making this incredible overlay, doing all of this pre-work and doing all this prep and showing off this super cool game. You should go follow
And
the
putting up
Kickstarter.
with our bullshit.
And also that, definitely that. You should go follow the Kickstarter. In 3 days, it's gonna be launching. You don't want to miss out. This has already been so much fun, and I can't wait to keep playing. Make sure to tune in for all of our shows next week, which is gonna be more of this. We're gonna have Total Party Chaos on Monday. We're gonna have another episode of Tailsless Tales on Tuesday, and then more of Out of Orbit on Wednesday. And stick around for the raid. We're gonna be raiding Just the Human. They are live. If you don't know Just the Human, they're amazing, and they are currently running a LA Wildfire Relief D&D stream. So we're gonna hop over there and do some dope stuff for charity because people need some help right now. Any last words, Andrew, before we sign off?
No, I appreciate you all. Yeah, check out the campaign. It's like I said, it's launching in 3 days, and there's lots of cool little thingies that you can pick up when you back the project. So,
Okay.
Don't be a
Thanks,
Boris.
guys. This
Back
has
the
been great.
campaign.
Don't be a Boris. That's the new tagline for our little mini campaigns. Don't be a Boris.
Don't be Boris.
Don't be a Boris. Awesome. Well,
Raspberries.
I know I am. Are y'all ready for more tales?
Always.
Bye,
Make sure
everybody.
you go get your Boris berries.
Go get your Boris berries. Stick around for the raid.
Maybe
In this
buttons.
economy.
Bye.
Bye.